1063.
Checkered flag is in the air.
Man, this is a win in the cup race.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun.
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
And welcome into the Friday edition of Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode. Nick Keyser here with you on this Friday morning. Hope everybody is doing well. The weekend is almost upon us. Joe, good morning. How are you?
Sorry, I should have had the mic in place. Yeah, I'm okay. I thought I had my game zip up in the car, and I don't. So all I have is a Michigan State sweatshirt, which I'm averse to wearing anything Michigan State, and also it may not fit me. And I can't handle the cold in here like you can. So I'm a little concerned about how this is going to go.
In your defense, I mean, it's the middle of July, so you shouldn't really have to carry around the 102.5 The Game pull-up. But Chase is trying to kill us every day in here. So
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah, exactly.
Outside, it's summer. Inside, it's Antarctica.
There's got to be a little bit of a middle ground because it is, I will say, I think it's the hottest, like, sustained and moving forward, too. You look at it every day, it's like 92, 93. And I mean,
bring it on.
Like, I'm not complaining about that. But I'm okay with, like, 87.
Yeah, that's fine.
88. Now, but I still would much rather have 93 than anything below 70.
Me too.
And certainly rather have that than 41 or whatever it is in here. 9?
Nick, you strike me as a cold weather man.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Like, I was wearing T-shirts and a shorts just like this last week at the scrimmage game, but also all the practices. So, I mean, I can tolerate this going to the rink or, I mean, high school football games, I guess, too. I guess when that starts to get cold. But also, too, you guys are sitting at a crisp 72.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
In
that's
there,
total BS.
Yeah, I don't think our.
And there's no
thermostat
thunderstorm
is
that's happened yet.
We are going to manufacture our own thunderstorm in here one day.
At some point, maybe it'll be the eye of the hurricane.
Maybe so.
I think you'd fit in well in Milwaukee, it sounds like, Nick.
Yeah,
I think so.
You would. Be good. A lot of talk about Milwaukee. Nick, you'll have to go up there next year.
Yeah, check it out, man.
I would not mind that at all, honestly. I'd rather go to the Brewers game and check out our Admirals.
That's right.
Big Admirals guy. Nick Keyser.
Yeah. We are going to talk about the Brewers bullpen today, right?
We are.
'Cause that's I'm about sick of
Right after we talk about the Bucks bench players next year coming off.
Yeah.
They have enough around Giannis? We'll see. Got a lot to get to on the show today. Jared Stillman dropping by at 7 o'clock. We'll get into all sorts of different things with Jared Stillman at 7 o'clock. Teron Davenport at 8 o'clock, talking all things Tennessee Titans, so looking forward to that. We begin with the introduction of the newest Nashville Predator yesterday. Ryan O'Reilly addressing the media yesterday after signing a 4-year deal with the Predators worth $4.5 million per season. Ryan O'Reilly, I think, is going to come in and be their number one center, maybe their number two center. We'll see how that plays out. But Ryan O'Reilly addressing the media yesterday. He was on with Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace around 11 o'clock at the top of their show yesterday. If you missed that, check it out on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And then around 11:15, addressed the media yesterday and had a lot of interesting things to say. What did you make of Ryan O'Reilly and what he had to say yesterday at his press conference, Joe Rexrode?
It was a good presser, although Nick stood directly in front of me, so I was trying to, like, speak through his head to Ryan O'Reilly. But that's cool. Whatever, man.
Yeah, but at least I'm not tall. I'm not blocking your view.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I could see over you a little bit. But
you also had a speaker right next to you too.
Yeah, I was just recording the speaker.
Veteran.
Yeah, interesting kind of setup. They have him in the offiss kind of standing.
That's what I thought too.
I like tables and sitting. I don't want to complain too much. I've already complained a lot in like 6 minutes, but it was a good presser. I mean, he said, I wrote a column in The Athletic today. And by the way, Nick wrote Nashville Hockey Now something on Ryan O'Reilly. I noticed too. But my question was kind of, and I think Glennon asked this right off the jump. And luckily, no one from the Preds muttered an F-bomb into a
Better than the
live
Flyers
stream. Yeah, at basically the same question that Gianna Hahn asked, last week, or was it earlier this week? I don't know. But the question is basically and it's my question too, is why'd you pick the Preds? Like, why? Again, Pierre LeBrun, reported more than half the league was interested. Toronto had a pretty good offer. So it's clear that Nashville's offers was better than Toronto's offer.
Correct.
However, you could certainly make the case. I mean, if you want to have a chance to win a cup anytime soon, there are other places that you would go, right?
Well, and here's what Ryan O'Reilly had to say when he was asked that question.
Some of the appeals in signing with Nashville, I guess, considering you're a veteran player, and some people look at this team as maybe going towards you. What brought you here?
Well, I think the veteran players that are here right now, I think are so, the way they impact the game is so impressive. And then, I think too, watching last year in the youth and what they do, there's a great balance of both. And I think for me coming here, I think it's something that I look forward to. I think we can take a step and be right there to competing for a cup.
So that was Ryan O'Reilly yesterday at his press conference. Did you hear that last part?
I did hear the last part, and later he he said more. Like what? Basically, what? Why not us? Why can't we?
Yeah,
why?
why can't we
Tell me
compete?
why. So first of all, you can't expect anyone. I mean, even really like if it's a straight up full tear down or something, anyone coming into a new place be like, this team isn't very good, but hopefully we'll be average, right?
Right.
I mean, you're ultimately. And, hey, there are so many variables. There are so many things we don't know. I don't know that, Luca Evangelista isn't going to score 40 goals next year. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, look, realistically, you tell me if you guys agree. I think that the target date for the Preds would be 25-26. I'd say
To be a contender.
Yeah, and that's if everything goes their way. Or a lot of things go their way, right?
I would agree.
I mean, next
You're
summer,
talking 2
who
seasons
knows?
from now.
Yeah. I mean, look, who knows? Maybe there's a lot of things that go their way in the next year and an amazing offseason, and there's a big name we don't know, and next year is closer than you would think right now. But I would doubt it, right? So I did some awesome math. I mean, Ryan O'Reilly, so you're talking, well, let me just go to this because I wrote it, but you're talking Ryan O'Reilly at 34?
Yep.
That season, right?
Yep.
You're talking Roman Josi at 35, talking Philip Forsberg at 31, and you're talking Saros at 30 and on the new deal if Saros is not going to be moved, right?
Yep.
Like if I'm Ryan O'Reilly looking at that whole situation, I mean, I don't know, you tell me. What would you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think it depends on how rapidly the young guys come up. But, I mean, sitting here today, it's hard for me to get to Stanley Cup contender right there. I think there's still a lot of work left to be done before they get back in that
So by then
conversation.
you're saying even? Or, even like 25, 26
You
is
need
too
a lot
weird.
of things to go right. We're assuming that most of these young guys pan out, and then things are going right.
Exactly. Okay, so 25, 26, realistically, could it be like 15, 16? Like 10 years later, it's a similar.
It could be.
Something like that.
I mean, look, honestly, I could see them making the playoffs this year.
Right.
I could see them making the playoffs next year. But beyond that, how do you get to a point where you're being competitive once you get there? If things go right, then 2 years I think is I mean, you got the goalie. You still got, I think, a good defense core, although I think over the next 2 years you're going to see that defense core change a lot. But yeah, you can do that if you're Barry Trotz. I mean, to me, it's all about Parsonen, Tomasino, Evangelista, Kemmel, Matthew Wood. Is he in the fold by them? Who you just drafted in the first round? Like a lot of these young guys, Zachary Leroux, is he up then? Like you need a pretty good hit rate with those guys to come up and be contributors, I think. And then maybe you're in that conversation. But if those guys don't hit, then I think you're probably where you are right now, which is not where you want to be in 2 years.
Yeah, so from the O'Reilly perspective, and look, is it just as simple as this is the best deal? So I took the best deal. I mean, and that's why I thought about this in terms of like DeAndre Hopkins too. It's like, because I mean, that's what we think he's doing too. Is there anything wrong with that? I got no problem with it.
I mean, no. I mean, look, Ryan O'Reilly, he's won a Stanley Cup and he's a
got
Conn
the
Smythe
ring.
winner. Right. Well, the other part of this is, and just kind of reading between the lines yesterday, I think a big part of his decision was he likes it here. Like the lifestyle, he's at a point in his career with his family where he wants to be.
He has a guitar.
Well, he has a guitar. And that was made clear yesterday. I think we're doing Matt Duchene all over again. I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Watch out. Don't talk about the guitar.
But I also, the more I look at this, and he's never going to like outright come out and say it. It just sounds like to me he had no desire to be in Toronto. Like that was, I don't know what happened in like the 3 or 4 months he was there, but whether it's the media circus or the locker room or whatever all these rumors are coming out of Toronto, like I still look at that team and say, you've got Austin Matthews, you got all these pieces. You could have signed a 1-year deal there and then done this in the offseason again and maybe had a chance to win a cup. It's pretty clear to me he did not want to be in Toronto.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, he was hurt for like a month, right? He
Yeah.
was out, so it's like he barely even played.
Yeah.
Like, how do you dislike it that much in that short of a period of time?
I don't know, but I mean, look, Toronto is not for everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, it's a fishbowl there, and I look, I don't know about the locker room stuff. That's what's coming out of Toronto is, gosh, the Matthews and Marner and all, just the locker room is terrible in Toronto. And I don't know. Maybe it is. I have no idea. But I do know that, even based on players that I've talked to that have played there, it's not for everybody. It's a little bit much at times. So I don't know if that was a factor with Ryan O'Reilly or not.
Yeah, but it also has seemed like, it had seemed like maybe they were going to try to break that up too. So. And he was so huge for them.
He was
in the postseason.
Now again, it's rumored, and I don't know how far they were going to go beyond it, but 1-year deal versus 4-year deal. I mean, that's a pretty big difference too.
Yeah, it comes down to, like you said, you're just a year older. Next summer, do you think that team can win it? Because there definitely would be some players who'd be like, yeah, okay, let's give this one more shot. Let's give this a full season and see what it looks like. But, hey, Nashville's a game. He's a good player.
Had a great introduction video, one of the greatest I've ever seen, of talking about going out there and kicking some tail, and then he put the teeth out. Did you see this from Ryan O'Reilly?
No.
He, flipped his tooth out of his mouth and then put it back in. It was awesome. I'll show it to you during the break.
Okay.
It was great.
That's interesting. I want to show you the best TikTok video I've ever seen. I retweeted.
I saw it this morning. Yeah. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
It's amazing.
Joe retweeted a TikTok video. Next step is for him to get on TikTok.
Rock, paper, scissors. A dude's doing rock, paper, scissors with a paper
Like
towel
a paper towel
dispenser
dispenser in the bathroom.
and he does rock. He's like, oh,
It's pretty good.
Come on.
615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. We'll continue the discussion on Ryan O'Reilly, get to more of our takeaways from his press conference yesterday. Does he truly view the Nashville Predators as a contender? We'll get into that coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
94.9 The Fan is your home for Hit City.
Your Nashville Sounds return from the All-Star break tonight at Louisville.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sounds win.
Pre-game at 6 o'clock.
On your home of Nashville Sounds baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
In countries around the world, people don't have free speech. They can be harassed, jailed, and punished for expressing their honest opinions. That's why for more than 20 years, the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, or FIRE, has been fighting to ensure that America never abandons its commitment to free expression. Because FIRE believes that free speech makes free people. Join the free speech movement at thefire.org. Paid for by thefire.org.
Check, check. You might already know about the Acura MDX. V6 engine, seat 7. We have an announcement. We swapped that engine with a specially made 3-liter turbo V6, race-tuned the steering and suspension, and for the first time, added Type S performance to an SUV. So we're just gonna drop this right here. The Acura MDX and first ever MDX Type S. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Experience the thrill at Gary Force Acura, proud sponsor of the Nashville Predators. TennesseeAcura.com.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the spicy chicken biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code ESPN17 for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's code ESPN17. Use code ESPN17 for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Susan has always wanted to live in a chateau. I like a certain je ne sais quoi. While Jake is more into the Cape Cod style home.
It's a classic look.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Susan and Jake found a Cape Cod style home where they will only speak French.
Bonjour, je t'aime, merci beaucoup, and cordon bleu.
You'll get better with time. Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
Want to weigh in on the conversation? It's a brain booster. Slide into our DMs. Or just text or call at 615-737-1025. Our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Good morning. You're locked into Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty.
I have the radio on. I'm listening to
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Ryan, you're coming in and you're coming up the middle as well at center. You've been known. Obviously, you've won a Selkie, a Conn Smythe. How do you feel about your 200-foot game coming into Nashville, perhaps?
Yeah, I feel great about it. Like I said, I kind of build my game from the defensive zone out, or without the puck, and the offense comes from there. And I think this team, over the years of playing against them, it is a tough team to play against, and that's something I want to add on top of. I want to be difficult on whoever I'm playing against, and build it from there.
That was Ryan O'Reilly yesterday, the newest member of the Nashville Predators, with his introductory press conference. What a question by executive producer and reporter Nick Keyser.
Yes.
To elicit that response from Ryan O'Reilly yesterday.
Indeed. You know what I really enjoy is another turn. We just talked about the guitar.
Yep.
Hard to play against.
Oh, yeah.
There's another one that Preds fans love hearing.
Yeah.
Want to hear that a lot more.
He said it a few times yesterday.
He did.
I was like, yes.
Yep.
John Hines would love him.
Ah, indeed. Oh, my gosh. I can't. Okay. We had to fix this camera. I can't do it, dude. I cannot do this. This cannot be on the internet.
Sure it can.
No, it absolutely cannot be on the internet. Sorry, Nick. I know that
Somebody call Pekarski.
I know you fixed the camera, but I am not going to be.
Yeah, but you already were on the internet with it.
What do you mean?
We just came back from break and you were on screen.
That is true.
That's why I'm switching the camera. I'm not going to have myself with a freaking Michigan State sweatshirt.
Oh, my gosh.
Dude, no, you don't understand. You do not understand. And you don't want. Okay, let's.
Well, Izzo's in the control room right now, just beside himself. He won't.
Yeah, well, there's a guy who would absolutely give me crap forever.
There you go. Now it's on your. It's only on your dome now. So
okay, that's fine.
That's all right.
Yeah. No, believe me, man. That cannot happen. I'm sorry, and it's my fault for being unprepared and only having a Michigan State sweatshirt available. I will not be seen wearing a Michigan State anything.
Go green.
Ever. Yeah.
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 D-Mace would be so proud.
Yeah. I mean, we have a flag, Michigan State flag, that we fly at my home.
Yes.
But I agreed that was part of moving to Tennessee, okay? So I could, that's fine. But this is not happening. Okay, that works fine. Although now it looks like Robbie's about a foot taller than me, but it's fine.
Just for the record, I am not. We're about the same height.
That is.
What the hell is wrong with
that's
people?
That's actually kind of funny if you look at it. Anyway,
by the way,
Ryan
we're
O'Reilly.
streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook. You can check all this out live from our 102.5 The Game studio, brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. So, O'Reilly talking about competing for a cup yesterday and being competitive, and why not us? Why can't we be competitive? Why can't we compete this year? Hey, look, that's fine. I mean, that's what you want to hear out of a guy who is, as Barry Trotz terms it, a serial winner. So that's fine. We'll see how all that goes and trying to build that foundation once training camp rolls around. It does take me back, Joe, to a conversation that we've had before when it comes to the free agents that they've signed already and maybe one or two that are still out there that is interesting to me that they could be interested in. And that is, what is Barry Trotz selling to these guys? Like when he was talking with Ryan O'Reilly and his representation, or Luke Shin and his representation, Nyquist, Gurianov, whatever it is, and Gurianov's a little bit different, but these other veteran guys, what has been the sales pitch? Because I think a lot of people have said, well, I mean, he wants these guys to come in and mentor the young players and for them to be leaders in the room and the young guys to learn how to win, do all those things. And I'm sure that's a big part of it. Like, he wants positive influences and a change of culture in the room. All that's great. But, like, is that the only thing that he's told these players? Because it kind of sounds like he's told these players, yeah, we're going to be – we got UC Saros, you got Roman Yossi, you got Philip Forsberg. It's not going to take us very long to get back to doing some winning here. And Ryan O'Reilly, to me, didn't sound like a guy yesterday that – anticipates 3 years of a rebuild out of his 4-year contract.
Right, and that's that's what's really interesting about it. And it's a great question. I think I asked him if Trotz kind of talked to him about it, and I mean, you tell me, Nick, basically, to paraphrase, he was kind of like, yeah, a little, but like he kind of downplayed that.
He did.
Right?
Well, it sounds to me like remember what Trotz said was, I'm going to take some much needed time to myself. But then he was at dev camp. He was there the entire time. And I had a few brief conversations with him. And I was like, are you going to be going anywhere? Yada, yada, yada. And I mean, it sounded to me like once that camp was over, he was going to be taking a step back away from what was going on, which is
cottage season.
Completely warranted, yes.
Elliot Friedman calls it.
And actually, I talked to Ryan's brother, Cal, and he's at his own cottage. A couple of guys are up there, too. I talked to Rich Peverly, too, for that story, but he's up at his own place. But, yeah, like you said, it's cottage season. I think it's exactly the best way to look at it is he's probably not really here. And if I had to guess, that was probably more of a conversation with his agent, and then it just goes from the agent to O'Reilly. That's the way that I see it personally, is they're setting the tone for, yeah, here's our vision, here's what we have for the next few seasons, and they probably just left it at that, and then Ryan just said, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's an interesting, that's a fair point. I always feel like when it gets down to really getting close, I would, as a player, want to talk to the principals.
Yeah.
On the other side. I know that he also mentioned that he talked to other players who had played for Brunette, which I think that makes sense, right? And I think that's obviously, like the coach has got to be a huge part of your decision.
Well,
too.
yes, and Cal sold him on it too. I mean, that's what he kind of told us yesterday
so
too.
The Cal thing,
and he's visited Nashville, so
right, the Cal factor. But yeah, like it's still like, do you get excited? I mean, clearly, and just Barry Trotz's public comments are very strong in the way of, again, serial winning, like you're the Jeffrey Dahmer of winning. But like all the culture things, helping the young players along, all that stuff, right? So there's no question. Like if you're Ryan O'Reilly, you understand that, but like how much does that? You have to think that it can be good pretty quickly, right? Like you have to think that.
I think so, and I have no idea if it's going to be, but
right. You may be wrong.
You may be wrong, but like it. I think that's got to be part of the thought process, which is, I mean, it's interesting to me, like how much. Barry Trotz has publicly talked about how they might have to take a step or two back, right? Like he's talked about that. I think the phrase that he's used is, there's going to be some pain in this. And I hear that, and then I watch some of the moves that they've made this summer, and I'm like, well, how much of a step back is it really going to be? And I'm not saying that they're taking some gigantic leap forward, but like right now, based on what this team is, I don't think they're going to be any worse than they were a year ago.
Yeah, I think they could be, but yeah, they don't look markedly worse. That's for sure. I really do wonder about just scoring, and scoring was a huge problem last year. But it's like, can the timelines line up? And this is, a lot of teams go through this. It's like, I mean, you even look at the Titans, and it's like you have some players in their absolute prime, and then you got, you don't know, the quarterback change is coming and all that stuff. Like with the Preds, again, it's like, can you get other things to a place where your core is still effective? I mean, look, like Forsberg on his own. Is it going to be healthier moving forward for him? Because, you need Forsberg to play full seasons for you if possible and be a top player. And, you need him to be a great player. Is that happening as he enters his 30s? A couple years from now? Is he going to, what's he going to be as a player? What's Yossi going to be at 35?
Right. I mean, it's a great question. And O'Reilly said something else yesterday that I thought was pretty interesting in terms of, I mean, he talked about his point production and how it wasn't where he wanted it to be this past season, and that he feels like that's going to get back on track, and that offensively the point production will be better this year. I am interested to see, with the opportunity that I think he's going to be the first line center, at least to start. At worst, he'll be number 2, and they'll leave Cody Glass up there as number 1. But I think he'll be the first line center to start. So if you're playing with, Philip Forsberg, the opportunity for points should be there if you're Ryan O'Reilly. I'm very interested to see, he had 30 points, 53 games last year. It's not great. What does that look like this year? If he's in that role, if he stays healthy at 32 years old, what does that point production look like for a guy that's traditionally been 65, 70, somewhere in that neighborhood in points? I mean, let's roll off from 2014 until he was traded last year. I mean, you're talking 55 points, 60 points, 55 points, 60 points, 77 points, 61 points, 54 points, 58 points. I mean, he's been right in that neighborhood. Can he get back to that?
Yeah.
If he can, then feel pretty good about it for the Predators.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, yeah, he had the 1 year. That was also the Conn Smythe in the Cup year.
Yep.
Basically a point-a-game player. But, 60-point center. I mean, but then I ask, okay, so you have Forsberg. You have what? Forsberg Evangelista with him?
At the moment, I do, yes.
I mean, what's the line look like? I mean, what kind of support does he have?
By the way, he just put up 9 points in 11 playoff games as a third-line center. So,
yeah.
It's pretty good.
It is. Yeah, that's a different kind of team, but yes. But still, I mean, he was critical for them in that series. Another point, Alex Doherty made this point after the presser yesterday. Riley talked about, like I think of my game, defense first. I get this defense. It's like, yeah, it's got to be exciting for Preds fans to hear that. It's like,
well, yeah, but that's true, because his 200-foot game, that's why I asked him about that, was because if he is that much of a decorated 200-foot player, because remember, Trotz knows and even said it that, he's not the fastest skater on the ice, but more or less what the Predators want is he needs to be in position. And so they had a lack of that, I feel like, at times with a guy like Johansson. At times, yes, Duchesne. A lot of times, honestly. And another thing, too, is he's not going to shoot as often as some of these guys, too. But when Ryan does shoot, I mean, look at what he did with the Blues. I mean, he was pretty darn effective when he was on offense. And so if he's with the right skaters, I mean, he could thrive. I mean, there's a real chance for it. I mean, he's 32. Yeah, he's going to get older. By 34, you would hope he's somewhat the same guy. And I think he very well could be. He looks like he's in great shape. He's healthy now, and I think that's the biggest thing for him.
Yeah, and look, I mean, that goes to like what Trotz is, the points he's made about him, right? About the intangibles, about first guy, about
details.
A guy like that, if healthy, can potentially be effective later.
There is another former St. Louis Blue that's out there that I wonder if the Nashville Predators could have interest in. We'll get into that coming up next.
Weird.
This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
It's been an offseason of change for the Nashville Predators.
Still going to be a relatively young roster. Johansson's gone, Duchesne's gone.
The Nashville Predators are interested, potentially, in a Brett Pesce.
They did trade Ekholm, Granlund, Tanner Jeannot.
What's next for Smashville's team?
They want to get younger. They're going to have to move a piece.
We have you covered with every move on your home for Smashville. 102.5 and 106.3, The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
Sometimes you want a sure return on your investment. That's where CDs come into play. At F&M Bank, they've been providing smart choices to customers for over a century, including CDs that are a great way to save. You make a deposit and collect the earnings on your terms. Great rates, predictable results, and backed by the Federal Deposit Insurance Company. That's smart banking. Life is complicated. Banking shouldn't be. So go see them at one of their 20 locations across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky or online at myfmbank.com. F&M Bank. Banking made easy on purpose. Member FDIC.
For more than a century, AM radio has evolved to meet the needs of our community. In their car, at home, or on the job, more than 80 million listeners depend on AM radio each month. AM radio is also the backbone of the emergency alert system, which keeps us safe in dangerous times. It's reliable, free, and public safety depends on it. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code ESPN17 for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's code ESPN17. Use code ESPN17 for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
They're homegrown in Nashville, discussing the biggest topics in the SEC.
The fans are going to want the rivalries to stick around. They've lost to Alabama every year.
The NFL.
What if all the top three quarterbacks went 1, 2, 3? You've got to draft your guy at 2.
And anything in between.
From thinking we know everything to then forgetting about everything we thought we knew the day before.
They're Jonathan Hutton and Chad Withrow on Outkick's Hot Mic.
Out of the gates, ready to go.
Weekdays from 2 to 5 on 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
What's up, Nashville? This is Stephen A. Smith. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Call TJ's team today to see why they're referred to so often. Robbie Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode. Nick Keyser here with you on this Friday morning. Discussing the Predators, Ryan O'Reilly introduced as the newest member of the Predators yesterday. Although I keep saying that, I mean, he signed first, so I guess he's not the newest member. Dennis Gurianov's the newest member.
That's a fair point, yeah. Well, yeah, but it's in the same crop.
Same crop.
Yeah. Same class.
Roughly the same time. Now the question is, are the Predators done? They brought in Dennis Gurianov earlier this week, Luke Shen, Gus Nyquist, Ryan O'Reilly. So a busy free agency period for the Predators to this point. And there are still names that are out there and that are available in free agency. And Elliot Friedman connected the Predators to one of those names earlier this week. Now, full disclosure here, I think after Friedman said this, the Predators made the Gurianov move. So I do wonder if that's it for them after that. But they still have roughly $8 million in cap space. They got $7.9 million in cap space. And I don't think the annual average value for this player is going to be approaching $8 million, but we'll see. Vladimir Tarasenko is out there and is available. And there are several teams that are rumored to be interested. Now, Tarasenko fired his agents like shortly after the beginning of free agency. So he switched agents. He's now with J.P. Barry and Pat Brisson and has switched up agencies that way. And here's what Friedman had to say earlier this week on NHL Network. Quote, I think Tarasenko will end up signing a one-year deal. I think Ottawa's in there. I think San Jose has been in there. I think Florida's been around there. I think Nashville's been in and out. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think those are kind of some of the teams that have shown the most interest. That's what Elliot Friedman had to say. So Ottawa, San Jose, Florida, and Nashville apparently have been the teams that have shown the most interest in Vladimir Tarasenko to this point. What do you make of that?
Well, I can't. To me, that would push beyond the wait a minute. What are you doing? Like I don't. I would not really get that at this point. Interesting group of teams, by the way. Like, how about some Ottawa or San Jose, Vlad?
Yeah.
We'll see you when you return to the NHL.
Well, Ottawa just
or
lost
Florida. That's told the other end of the.
Ottawa just lost to Brinkett, so I guess they're trying to replace him. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they need hockey players up there.
They do.
He seems like a guy. I mean, he seems like a guy who is like, take a flyer if you're a contender.
Yeah,
and hope that
I thought he played pretty well for the Rangers when he got traded from the Blues to New York last year. He had 21 points, 31 games in the regular season. He was really good in that playoff series for the most part against the Devils, which I still can't believe that they lost.
Unbelievable.
4.7 games, 3 goals in that series. So, I mean, he's decent in that series against the Devils.
How old is he?
He's 31.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this would again be a situation where you're bringing in a veteran guy, and this young team that we've been talking about with the Predators starts to get way less young at that point. It is interesting to me that they have apparently shown interest in Vladimir Tarasenko. Now, again, I believe this report from Friedman was on Monday, and that's the same day they signed Gurianov. So
maybe that satisfied.
It could be
one more veteran signing,
but he's still out there. The Preds have cap room to get him, and they've been interested in him at some point. So to me, it's still on the table as a possibility until he's signed somewhere else. I wonder what it would be.
St. Louis Southeast over here.
First line of Philip Forsberg, Ryan O'Reilly, Vladdy Tarasenko. Think about saying that like 3 years ago.
Yeah, right? Man, between the Blues and the Admirals here with the Preds.
Well, at least if the Preds score, they don't chant like they do in St. Louis. God, that was one of my least favorite things in the entire world, in the hockey world.
But I do love I don't know if they still do it, but like in the playoff series, the AC/DC song that they intro is pretty good. Pretty great.
I'm pretty sure that they still do that.
Yeah.
So he'll be 32 in December. So you're talking about a 32-year-old in O'Reilly. I think Shen is 33. I forget how old Nyquist is, but he's around there. And then 32 for Tarasenko in December. So that would be – I mean, you'd be adding a veteran presence, that's for sure, and they've done that to this point. I kind of feel like he would be overkill from that standpoint. But, like, I also – if he's healthy, what do we think he is anymore in a 82-game season? He played 69 games in the regular season last year. He had 50 points, 18 goals. So I think the days of him scoring 40 are probably behind him at this point. But I don't know. If he gives you 25, 27 goals, is it worth it if you're the Predators? I don't know.
Again, I mean, it probably improves your chances next year of being a little bit fringier of a fringe playoff team.
It does.
So, is there any chance they could get Braden Shen while they're at this?
Well, maybe. Erik Karlsson. Just bring them all in.
Brett Hull. Adam Oates. Yeah, it's I don't know. That would be really surprising to me if they actually and that report, like you said, first of all, Gurianov happened after that, but also they did sound like the fourth most interested. The fact
they did
in and out. So, but it's an issue.
Like, what does that mean? Is that them basically? Yeah, we'll make a call.
Right.
And yeah, it sounds great. Oh, that's the price you want? Nah, okay. All right. No thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think now the lineup, I think has you could even argue maybe they could have used one less veteran, but.
Well, I went through my lineup the other day, and there's already 14 skaters.
Yeah.
14 forwards.
And look, this goes to maybe it is going to be a little more another Trotsism that we enjoy, overcooking. Rather have overcooked than undercooked young players. So that's the whole thing, is that he just is not going to rush someone. But I do feel like you got to right now, I think the spots are there for people who should be with the team this year.
I would agree.
Who are going to be important moving forward. We don't know how good they're going to be, but I think at some point you have to find out up here.
I find it interesting. Obviously, O'Reilly, Shen, Nyquist, all those guys the Predators were interested in. Guryanov, they bring him in. It's surprising to me, just I guess the number of veteran free agents that the Predators have either been in contact with or been interested in this offseason. I did not really expect it to go that way.
Right. Like, going into a year, if Barry Trotz says he likes the free agent class, what's going to happen?
Signs
one. He hated this free agent class.
It's like, oh, this one is just great.
Yeah, right.
We're not going to make a single move.
Yeah, but he was very much like, maybe a little mid-range ad here or there, and no.
Cam on the text line says, if he can give you 25 to 30 goals, you should do it at this point. This team, as is, only has one other guy that can touch 30 goals this year. This is from Cam on the text line. Maybe.
Look, that we've talked about offensively challenged. They're less offensively challenged with him.
Well, look, I still think he's a good player. If he's signing a one-year deal, I think you got to ask yourself, how much sense does it make? And is he taking the spot of a younger guy that you could give that opportunity to grow? I mean, that's what it comes down to me.
Right.
Like, I like the player. I think Tarasenko's a good player. I've never heard anything about him being like some big problem in the locker room or anything like that. Obviously, Ryan O'Reilly would know him pretty well. So there's a lot to like about him. But to me, it's more about – I've said it all along. You can't view where you are right now as a franchise with next year in mind. Like, it's about the next 2, 3, 4 years.
But that's exactly – I mean, if you – were to, I mean, the only other thing is obviously you could sign him and then you
flip him.
Yeah, you just flip him at the deadline.
Yeah,
and get a pick out of it.
Maybe that's what you do.
But
if they sign him,
yeah, then you're thinking
they're going to be
year.
Good enough to be. I mean, they're not going to be. I mean, unless things go terribly, they're going to be in playoff contention by the time the deadline comes around.
You would think so. Yeah. So, but that the whole opportunity thing is where it's interesting because again, maybe they're just like. Okay, maybe there's a couple people we think are getting opportunities that they're like, actually, Milwaukee's maybe that's it.
Could be. Like I said.
Which is not exciting for some fans, I know.
But it could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already, as things sit here today, by my count, like 14 forwards deep into what I think could be an interesting training camp. You add him. I mean, it's taking another spot away from somebody else. So I don't expect Vladimir Tarasenko to be here. I did find it interesting that the Predators were apparently at least somewhat interested in him.
Don't mess with Cole Smith's spot.
That's right. 615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. Coming up next, it is time for Call Your Shot Friday. We'll take your bold predictions, your called shots on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll do that next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
When it comes to Nashville sports,
locking up Jeffrey Simmons, clearly that was a priority for them.
He knows his stuff.
A little bit good, a little bit bad.
And knows how to push the right buttons.
He's coming off an ACL tear, and he's 25 years old, so you cannot ignore that.
Join Outkick's Chad Withrow every Friday at 5 with Stillman and Company. Withrow.
What I hate more than anything is people that are phony and not true to themselves.
Is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The FedEx St. Jude Championship returns to TPC Southwind, August 9th through the 13th. Don't miss your chance to witness the top 70 players from the PGA Tour season battle it out in the first event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Only 50 players will make it through Memphis. Don't miss your chance to watch the drama unfold. Daily grounds and upgraded ticket options are on sale now at FedExChampionship.com.
Genesis is actually a new beginning.
Genesis Diamonds owner Boaz Ramon talking about why it's called Genesis.
I love the symbolism of the name. It's a new beginning.
Boaz wanted the name of his company to mean something, to reflect his core values and the importance of starting relationships for people in love, as well as the relationship he wants with each and every customer.
It's a new beginning in their life for the relationship between us, the jeweler, the Genesis Diamond, and the customer, and it should last forever. Everything we do is for the customer.
Walk into Genesis and you can feel it. Genuine people who are solely focused on celebrating the best moments of your life.
Is not only my passion, is my culture. Genesis is the book where God created the world, the day and night, the man and the woman. Every diamond engagement ring that we specially created for the customer is a new beginning for amazing lasting relationship.
Come start your amazing lasting relationship today at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Oh, I cracked the hull of my new ski boat today.
Oh my gosh, why'd you do that?
It's not like I was trying to do it, you know.
Sorry, that's rough, my bad, bro. Did anyone witness this epic fail?
Yes, there's videos galore, and now I'm a meme.
Accidents don't just happen in sea shanties, so Progressive Boat Insurance has you covered. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and not available for all boats or in all situations.
Let's face it, talking about life insurance is never easy. But after we watched a close friend lose her husband with no insurance, we decided that wasn't going to happen to our family.
Yeah, but shopping for life insurance can be almost as difficult as talking about it.
But then we heard about Ethos Life Insurance. They're a new kind of life insurance, built for people on a busy schedule who don't have time for unnecessary doctor's visits, fine print, or hidden fees. You know, who want to keep it simple.
I couldn't believe how easy it was. We answered a few basic questions, and within minutes, we had an estimate of what it would cost and what sort of policy made sense for us.
I never imagined life insurance could be so affordable.
And accessible.
The peace of mind knowing that our future is secure, it just removes a lot of the fear around getting older and...
Yeah, the unexpected.
I'm glad we talked about it.
I'm glad we went with ethoslife.com.
Go to getethos.com now for your free estimate. That's getethos.com. Getethos.com.
Hey, it's Jared. If you're listening to us on I-24 towards Murfreesboro or I-65 towards Spring Hill, make sure you check out 106.3 for another great way to hear Nashville's best sports talk.
You're locked into Robby and Rexrode.
Every morning, first thing.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The sports weekend has arrived. You know what that means.
Shoot your shot.
It's time for Call Your Shot Friday with Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It is that time of the week, time for Call Your Shot Friday here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll take your called shots, your bold predictions on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. 615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. Joe Rexrode, back in the saddle this week, starting anew on called shots. Your called shots for this week.
Well, yeah, I do real quick. I mean, I'm sure someone, I don't know, did you guys review the last time that I did called shots? I'll just real quick, just see if there's anything really interesting. Well, I'm going to change my called shot from my last. So June 23rd, I called a shot about Hopkins. I'm going to change that.
Okay.
I had Wemby a title in 26. So you had the Preds moving up to 6.
Didn't happen
with Arizona.
They tried to move up higher than that.
You still have Dame traded to the Heat as a hopeful possibility. And Nick Frazier had Mukhtar winning the Golden Boot. I'm gonna switch. I am gonna, because I said Hopkins to the Chiefs. I'm gonna switch, and maybe this isn't a huge called shot, but if I'm specific, you'll count it for me. Titans will sign DeAndre Hopkins, 1-year deal, $11 million with escalators. That's my. I'm gonna copy Charles Robinson, and instead of saying incentives,
escalators.
Say escalators.
That's
I
good.
love escalators up to $15 million.
I like that.
All right. This is another.
Is it happening today?
What's that?
Is it happening today?
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm not. No, I don't think so. In fact, if you want me to be more specific, okay, it'll happen on August 8th.
That's deep into camp.
Yeah, it is. That's about as much camp as if I were him.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Like, all right, yeah, send me out there.
It's about as much as I'd tolerate, if that much.
All right, I like it.
Dalvin Cook will be a Minnesota Viking next year.
Ooh, I like that.
How about that? You know, it's like, look, it's like the newspaper business. I know a lot of people who got laid off by the newspaper, and then they come back as a freelancer, just to make a few bucks, So think of it that way. Dalvin Cook, after all this time sitting out, and that'll be in camp too, back with the Vikings. And finally, this is a huge called shot.
Okay.
I don't believe it, but I'm going to call the shot. SEC Media Days will be fun.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
They really won't be.
Is that because
it's my called shot?
You and I are going to be there at the same time for the first time ever?
Well, I see that could help. That could help some.
Or hurt.
Probably not.
You know that Pac-12. You know what Pac-12 Media Day? You know what they're doing?
No.
One day in Las Vegas.
That kind of sounds great.
One day. You don't need 4 days of blabbing
about nothing.
But hey, can't wait though. Sign me up, baby.
We're very excited.
Yeah?
We will be there next week here on this program. Looking forward to it.
I will try not to whine all week about this.
Nick Keiser, your called shots for this week.
Okay, yes. Well, I'm going to go off the top with Hopkins. I'm just so done with this conversation. It is so annoying. I've been dealing with this on so many different shows, and I'm glad that we've kind of just kept it, at bay for the most part.
He comes in and just, yesterday, his best thing in sports was that there are no sports. And today it's, I hate everything you guys are talking about.
Hey,
I like it.
Joe had a break from sports for the last 2 weeks. I think that's pretty fair. So, I mean, look, that was pretty good, I thought. Look.
I hope your called shot is not like DeAndre Hopkins gets abducted and we don't have to hear about it.
Oh, my God. Hey, it could be. It could be. Shoot, he might go back to the Texans if I want to be bold like that. But no, I wouldn't say that. My called shot on Hopkins is he does sign this weekend because I'm ready for it to be over.
Okay. So this weekend.
I think it'll be this weekend at some point.
With who?
With us, the Titans.
Okay.
I would say
with us. WHMR.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness!
I didn't even think
save
about that.
Save that drop.
Did not even
drop
think
that
about
on
it.
you.
WHMR.
Yes. No, man, I didn't even pay attention. That's so
you're
bad.
Toast. I don't. My Michigan State sweatshirt may be bad enough, but you're toast.
DeAndre Hopkins, Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode on Monday morning.
DeAndre Hopkins with Nick Keiser in the slot. With that combo with some route combinations with those two. Oh my goodness!
I got to get some lessons with Derek Mason.
A lot of combined yards between those two, DeAndre Hopkins and Nick Keiser.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yep. So my other one, I got a couple of short ones. I'm going to say just because they're back after the All-Star break and we are partners with them on 94.9 The Fan, I'm going to say that the Sounds go 2-1 versus the Bats this weekend.
Ooh, 2-1. All right.
2-1.
About time we had a sound shot on here.
There you go. There you go.
Nick Keiser's changing the game.
He is.
You got to. All right. Now the other one is for Wimbledon just to make Robby proud.
Please.
I'm going to say that Djokovic makes it to the finals. However, he will lose in the final match in a close match. I don't know who it will be because I don't know much about tennis, but I will say
that is a shot, though.
He makes it
that is a shot.
To the finals and loses in a close match.
Okay, I like that.
Okay,
that counts.
That's a good shot.
That counts.
Yeah.
All right, my called shots for this week. The Vanderbilt Commodores will win 6 games this year and will be bowl eligible. They will be bowl eligible. Mitch Light told us the other day he kind of sees 5 and 7 written all over it. I say no. 6 games for Vanderbilt this year. They will win 6. They will be bowl eligible, and we will continue to talk about the progress being made under Clark Lee as he enters into his 3rd year. So 6 wins for Vanderbilt heading into this season.
Good shot.
Right. Saquon Barkley will not sit out a week and will also not get a long-term deal for the New York Giants. So he ain't getting that long-term deal, and I don't believe him when he says he's going to sit out. Saquon Barkley will be there. It's too much money to pass up on. He's not getting the long-term deal, and he will be playing week 1 as they take on the Dallas Cowboys. And Novak Djokovic will beat Alcaraz in the Wimbledon final, a 5-set final coming up on Sunday between Djokovic and Alcaraz, and I think he wins the last set 6-4. 6-4.
Okay, at least there's – because, I mean, him winning is not much of a
well,
shot.
5 sets.
You go 6-4. Yeah, 5 sets. Okay, that's fine.
5 sets, 6-4 in the final set. That's where I'm going.
Apparently, Alcaraz's dad was videotaping Djokovic.
Well,
practicing. So that's a huge advantage. In a public, like people are actually making a big deal. Public, like anybody can sit there
watch practice.
You know what this reminds me
Also,
of?
it's tennis. It's not like he's running a play out there. He's
Right.
just
wow. There's the backhand.
Wow, he just hit a drop shot.
There's
Good
the forehand.
gracious. Holy smokes!
You know what that
turns out he can hit every shot.
You know what that reminds me of is Mike Malarkey got pissed at Jason Wolf one time for I think putting out the video or even just like writing about like this trick play they did at a public practice.
yeah. Mike, there's 200 people in stands.
Like, you
over
have
there.
no idea who's in the stands. Do you know that there's not a Jaguars spy in there? Like, how many of these people are putting stuff on the internet?
I mean, Bill Belichick's bought an apartment over here across the pond, and he's got binoculars. Will from Nashville says Medvedev beats Joker in the finals in 5 sets. So he's got Medvedev taking down Alcaraz today and then beating Djokovic.
That's shot. That's some shots.
Keith taking a shot at you, saying you calling Nick WHMR coming from a guy wearing a certain sweatshirt. This is from Keith on the text
What
line.
proof do you have, Keith? This is just a gray sweatshirt.
Next question.
James on the text line says, are you saying that Djokovic will escape from Alcaraz?
Ooh,
Very well done.
Yeah, nice job.
Very
James.
nicely done.
Nice job.
Look, anytime we can talk about a little tennis, make some tennis jokes on here, I'm all for it. I wish more people cared about tennis than they do.
Yeah, it's been a good tennis week, and
It
I'm
has
glad
been.
we've given it a lot of love, and I like it.
I'm glad that Nick he knows how to say Djokovic's name. It's been a lot of progress we've made this week. He's a big Wimbledon guy.
You
now.
know what? I say Jokovic sometimes though too because
of Jokic?
Joker has messed me up. Yeah. So I get myself twisted because of Joker. Yes, and sometimes I mess his name up too. So this is. Has been turned into a confessional instead of call your shot.
Yes.
James says, want to make SEC Media Days fun? Just bring a case of gin.
Well, maybe we'll see that next week.
You will see some drunken sports writers around Nashville next week. So congratulations,
Yes.
Nashville.
Way to go.
Drunken sports writers all around.
That's right. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Jared Stillman. We have a variety of topics to get into with our friend Jared.
Do we?
Looking forward to that. That's coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
Every day we are live and local.
You need to give Ron Tannehill a 2-year extension.
There haven't been too many coaching changes for the Predators.
And your source for Nashville sports.
I think that's what the Titans need.
Players who can score.
We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hear that? That's Jeff Anderson. He's that guy in your neighborhood that's always making improvements to his house, his car, his yard. On your street, it's about keeping up with the Andersons. One thing you don't know is Jeff's tools are from Harbor Freight. Tools at great prices. That circular saw right there, you wouldn't believe the deal he got. Just think, when you're keeping up with the Andersons, you're saving money. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
This is Evan Bass for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. For most of us, sex is a big part of our relationship. So when something like erectile dysfunction starts affecting intimacy, it can be a real problem. But what you may not know is that ED doesn't just affect you, it can be tough on your partner as well. Plus, if you have ED, you know how it can make you feel. The truth is, we see a lot of guys who have depression, frustration, and even relationship issues because of ED. But we don't want ED to impact you or the one you love anymore. The Tennessee Men's Clinic tackles ED. Our urologists and medical providers take a comprehensive approach and have treated thousands of men with treatments that are successful in nearly 90% of cases. Even if your hormones are off, or if pills, wave therapy, or other treatments have left you hanging, the Tennessee Men's Clinic will work hard to help you get your sex life back, perhaps performing like you haven't in a long time. So call us. Your first appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. We have 2 offices in Midtown and Franklin.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra, results vary.
Nashville is growing, but we remember our roots here.
The fairgrounds, my family and I have so many memories there. It is full of history, it is full of culture, and it is full of Nashville.
There are some folks who want to tear down our historic fairground speedway.
When you do that, you lose part of your story.
Don't tear it down, make it better.
I'm not necessarily a racing fan, but it's a part of the fabric of the neighborhood.
When you lose something, guess what? It doesn't come back.
Don't take away my history. Let's make sure we don't lose another piece of what makes our city so special.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I'm looking for fuel injector cleaner.
Right now, buy a bottle of Chevron Techron Complete Fuel System Cleaner and get one free. Only at AutoZone.
Will it also help with my mileage?
Get everything you need to restore your performance in MPGs.
Wait, is it good for trucks too?
Whatever vehicle you have, you can find the right products and parts at AutoZone. AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Now, your Game Center update.
This is Nick Keyser. The Nashville Predators introduced Ryan O'Reilly yesterday after the centerman signed back on July 1st. O'Reilly commented on the importance of being a mentor for some of the younger skaters.
Yeah, I think, with this process, especially up front too, there's so many good pieces and so much skill. And for myself, I think it's do things the right way and kind of trying to guide them in the right direction. And if you do that, I think we can be very effective.
Meanwhile, over at Wimbledon, the final 2 rounds take place here in the next few days. The women's singles are set for Saturday, while the men's singles final is set for Sunday. And the Nashville Sounds are back in action tonight after the All-Star break in Louisville, taking on the Bats. First pitch is set for 6:15 p.m. You're listening to 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
For more, follow us on Twitter at 102.5 The Game or visit theGameNashville.com. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Robby and Rexrode. Chase McCabe.
Caroline, Willie, D-Bays.
Stone and Company.
Nashville's best sports talk.
Crank it up.
102.5 and 106.3.
Rebound on the score.
Make every play perfect.
Touchdown, Middle Tennessee.
We're going to win the game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun.
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Nick Keyser here with you on this Friday morning. And we welcome in our good friend Jared Stillman to the program. Jared, nice enough to join us on this Friday morning. Jared, I felt like last week a nice, calm discussion between you and I on Jared versus Joe. And then Joe returns this week, and there's just a lot of hostility flowing through the air. Welcome to the program this morning.
It's so good. I'm so glad to be on, Robby. I felt like Jared versus Joe. I know Joe took like 6 weeks off, but it felt like we never missed a beat with the Jared versus Joe program this weekend.
That's right. It was just right back at it. It was good stuff.
You're trying to claim that I take more time off than you?
I mean, one of us did just come back after missing 18 straight days.
I have to. No, in fact,
it was like you went on maternity leave.
I didn't even miss
Finally
2
came
full
back.
weeks. Remember, I worked that Monday, right?
You did. That's true.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
So I'm sorry that I have a kid who plays high school football who gets 2 weeks off in the summer. Got to take those weeks.
I know you've turned into Floyd. You take that month
That's
off,
right. Yeah.
go down to Turks and Caicos.
But you actually go to Turks and Caicos. Am I right?
For 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jared, we got a lot to get to with you today on the program. What did you make of the odds shift on DeAndre Hopkins? And do you think that actually means something tangibly, or is that just Vegas reacting to, Joe's thrown out there the Mike Lombardi podcast. Obviously, money comes in after that, and I believe that podcast is affiliated with DraftKings. What did you make of the massive odds shift plus 500 to minus 300 the other day with DeAndre Hopkins?
I would like to say that came out after the first segment of the Stillman and Company program, in which I called it that I thought that DeAndre Hopkins was going to be a Titan. So
there it is.
I'm just throwing that out there. I just am not a conspiracy theorist or anything. Just saying, open your eyes, people. But what I would say about that is, I do think that, like, word on the street is that he's going to be a Titan. And I feel like for people outside of here, it has taken a lot of time to try to understand why that would make sense at all. Now, I have a hard time making sense of anywhere but the Titans right now. But I think word on the street is starting to kind of get out there that he's going to be a Titan. I go back to Jeremy Fowler, Robby, and which I felt like there's a difference between, hey, like, I'm telling you I think he's going to be a Titan, and I'm telling you I think he's going to be a Titan. And I felt like last week Jeremy Fowler was doing some of that hinting. He really talked about the Titans being in the mix there. Now New England's in it too, but the Titans are really in the mix. And he did that a couple of times. So I think Fowler knows something and isn't just going to say, I think he's going to the Titans. Because those insiders will never say something like that unless they know that he's going to the Titans. And I think Vegas is kind of telling us the same thing. I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to be a Titan.
Yeah, well, I heard the Fowler thing. I know this is very rare with you. You may have taken a little bit of a leap there in the difference in his reporting, but either way, I don't think it's correct to think that Fowler knows and then he's hinting. I don't think Fowler has definitive information on anything because I don't think there is definitive information.
Right. So that's why I don't think Fowler's giving you definitive information because if Jeremy Fowler were to come on and say, hey, I'm really hearing that I think he's going to the Titans. If he were to say that, then the second that he doesn't go to the Titans, Fowler looks like an idiot, and that's something he's not going to want to do. So if he's hearing from his people like, hey, New England's still in there, but he's going to the Titans, that goes back to the he's telling you without telling you kind of thing because none of these insiders are ever going to say, hey, I really think it's going to be this guy or I really think this coach is going to take this job when they probably do hear things like that behind the scenes where obviously Fowler's talking to DeAndre's camp. And I think that DeAndre's camp has made it obvious to Fowler, in spite of the ESPN embargo on admitting there being a possibility that DeAndre Hopkins could be a Titan, that, yeah, this is very realistic. And he's kind of trying to, say what he knows without saying it.
But I'm saying that I don't think he knows it. And also I'm saying I know that this needs to end soon on Hopkins. My God.
You said August 8th is when it's going to happen.
That's way too long. I know. It's sad, but I think we're into August on this.
So I did a workshop one time, and they said in the workshop, the radio workshop, and they said, that the host will get tired of talking about something before the audience will get tired of hearing about something, which is a theory that I subscribe to, of kind of
I know.
Just hammering the crap out of some of these topics. And I have to be honest with you, like I'm kind of getting sick of it. Like, and that's saying something
It is.
because, I feel like, I feel like we've done like 8 weeks worth of DeAndre Hopkins talk. And honestly, again, it's hard for me to get tired of talking about the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I'm starting to get there.
Well,
I heard Willie yesterday. I'm not going to lie to you. I was on my way into the studio yesterday, and I heard Willie talking about how he went to the Nashville SC game.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I kid you not, like I was about to turn off the radio because it's like, I didn't want to hear a Nashville SC talk. And then Willie was talking about how, like, this was this crazy game and all this stuff happened and a guy threw a water bottle and it hit a guy in the head on the other team and the goalie turned around and he's telling everyone don't do it. He's like, and nobody's talking about it, and I don't get why. And I was like, oh, I love this topic. I was like, this is just something to not talk about DeAndre Hopkins.
Boy, did you make people mad on that one yesterday.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up.
About Nashville SC?
You did.
Yeah, Nashville SC, man. When Willie is telling you that not enough people care about you and you need to work on it, that's telling you something.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. The Apple TV stuff. It's just it's hard to find it, and that's an MLS thing. Yep.
They were kind of looking for a reason as to why, Nashville SC has a fan base like a Donald Trump rally, where it's like the people that are at the rally, they're already going to vote for Trump. But it's like, the key of the rally is to try to get people outside of the rally to vote for the guy or gal or whomever is holding the rally. And Nashville SC doesn't seem to care about the people that don't go to the stadium. And that was kind of the talking point. They brought up, like, is the Apple TV the reason for this? And I don't think Apple TV is the reason for it. I don't think Apple TV helps it. But quite frankly, I just feel like Nashville SC kind of has this entitled attitude. And it's like they don't care. If you don't go to the stadium, they're not making any money off of you anyway. So they don't care if you care or not. And I think that's kind of how they've really been run ever since they became an MLS team. And look, that's their business. They do whatever they want. But like I said, when Willie's sitting there saying, why aren't more people paying attention to this? My goodness, this should be the talk on all the shows, and it's not. It's like, hey, man, you want to look in the mirror there.
We've made it through 9 minutes of this without getting into Instagram live videos of Will Levis, and I feel like that needs to change right now because Joe is still very upset from your conversation the other day.
Why must it change?
He's still very upset from your conversation 2 days ago.
Has he been on Instagram Live? Is it like Derek? Derek goes on Instagram Live in the middle of the midday show.
I didn't know that Derek did his own Instagram Live show during the show.
I feel like we could introduce this to Rexrode now. Maybe that's something we need to start.
I guess
doing.
I could wear a Michigan State sweatshirt onto that.
Yeah. So is Will Levis going live? Because if he did, I must have missed that.
He's not going live. We're just talking about the conversation of around Will Levis that you guys had the other day. His approach to it. Is he more concerned about Will Levis? Is he more concerned about getting better? And the disagreement that you two share there.
My thing is with this. Will Levis seems like a good kid. And I have defended Will Levis, the entire time. I defended him before they drafted him, saying that I watched his tape and I liked him. Didn't love him, but I liked him. And, even now, I think that all these people that are hearing things like, oh, he threw interceptions at OTAs or Malik Willis is playing better or all the stuff like that, I'm like, whoa. It's way too early. Bill Polian says nobody should get evaluated until the first preseason game, and I think Polian's right. But there's no doubt, in my opinion, that Will Levis fell in the draft because teams were uneasy about his personality. And it's not like he did anything bad with that personality at Kentucky. I mean, I even took his side when I followed him on Instagram at the start of this offseason break because when I followed him, I looked at his pictures, and every comment that would come up, like I'd click a picture, and there would be a comment there about, like, I'm so glad we drafted Anthony Richardson and not this guy. Or, like, oh, yeah, you're standing in the front and center of this picture with the rookie quarterbacks because you've always got to be front and center. And I was like, man, like this guy cannot catch a break. But one thing I'll say about Levis, and I said this is the same thing with the face touching, is, dude, you're the quarterback who walks in with a lot of scrutiny. And so I just kind of feel like, get the football going, get the winning going, and then you can do whatever you want. You can eat pudding with your fingers if you want. Like, I don't care. Once you start winning. Before that, just kind of, as Joe Burrow would say, work in the silence.
Right. But again, that's not what these kids do, Jared. Let me just
Joe
ask
Burrow,
you this way.
That's an 85-year-old pop.
Yeah. Let me just ask you this way. Do you think that Will Levis, because I agree that personality was a big part of the conversation around Will Levis in the draft. I think he fell more because people weren't sure about him as a player. But I mean, it's not like he was like this perfect prospect on the field and we got personality issues. There are questions about him as a quarterback.
Yeah, but
That's
he was a
bigger.
definite first-round talent.
Yeah, okay. And first-round talent sometimes fall, but
yeah, like when they commit a crime.
Yeah, no, but Jared, no. There are questions about him as a player. Dude, there were people who thought Malik Willis was a top 5 pick a year ago. You don't know that.
Anybody in the NFL
That's
thought
not
that.
true. Well, Jared, no. Listen.
If anybody in the NFL thought Malik Willis was a top 5 pick, he would not have gone at pick 86.
A lot of people thought.
In the NFL.
Well, listen, but this is the problem, Jared. We're relying on people who cover it, who get information. People, some is misinformation, some isn't. Look, there are people who are convinced that most of the personality talk was generated by agents of other quarterbacks about Will Levis. So I don't know if that's true or not. But you do understand how this whole process works, right? Yes, there were some people, I think, in the NFL who thought Malik Willis was going to go higher than he did, and it wasn't some big personality flaw, right? Malik Willis is a questionable prospect, but so is Will Levis. Will Levis isn't some flawless on the field, on the film prospect who has a personality issue.
Well,
but here's the question, though.
Richardson's not a flawless prospect, and he went 4th.
Okay. So is that because his personality is amazing?
I mean,
I think it's probably because he's the most athletic prospect ever. Could it be that he's the most athletic prospect ever?
Cleaned up all the trash after the
I did see that.
had that event, and it told when the NFL told Anthony Richardson not to worry about it, he said, "No, we got to clean this up. We got to leave it the way we brought it."
Right.
I did see that.
There's a bunch of stories about Levis like that, too.
As somebody who loves Anthony Richardson, my pants fell down even a little bit further.
Well, you got to dump that, please.
Why?
All right, here's the question for you, though. Do you think that Will Levis's personality is a problem? Do you think that it should be any level of concern for Titans fans?
Yeah.
Why?
Because obviously teams were bothered by Will Levis's personality. I mean, hell, half the fan base is bothered by Will Levis's personality.
Yeah, Vols
And that's
fans who
after
hated
they
him at
drafted
Kentucky.
him.
That doesn't mean
I
anything.
mean, before they drafted him, 75% of the fan base was worried about his personality. It's a knock on him, regardless of whether or not it's fair. And I'm not one to sit here and tell you that it is fair. I'm just telling you that it was.
But you
in
just
fact,
are
part
you
of the
you are
process.
saying they should be concerned. So
They
you're
should
saying
be.
it's a problem.
People were worried.
Great. I'm asking you right now. Will Levis's
Rick
personality,
Spielman.
that's going to be a problem in the locker room?
Rick Spielman said that he's probably the sharpest critic of Will Levis of anybody whose opinion I truly trust on this stuff. And Will Levis, and Rick Spielman said after the first day of the draft, he's a first-round talent. You know, Bill Polian said he's a first-round talent, compared him to Roethlisberger. You know, on looking at the tape.
And these guys and what do these guys know about his personality? What do they know about his personality?
That his fall had nothing to do with his toe. Remember that kind of came up a little bit? And so I think teams looked at Will Levis, just like I like Will Levis. They probably liked him too, but they didn't love him, and I think the personality turned him off. That these general managers looked at the difference between a first-round quarterback and a second-round quarterback, and they said, you know, we're not going to risk our career on this guy. And I think the personality is a big part of that because personality is so important in a quarterback.
Jared, thanks for taking time to be with us this morning. We'll continue this discussion coming up next. Jared, have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Robbie. See you guys.
All right. Jared Stillman, our guest on Robby and Rexrode. We'll continue the Will Levis discussion coming up next. We'll get to your thoughts on our text line as well. Driven.
94.9 The Fan is your home for Hit City.
Your Nashville Sounds return from the All-Star break tonight at Louisville.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Sounds win.
Pre-game at 6 o'clock.
On your home of Nashville Sounds baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
This is it. The legendary live band Fish returns to the road this fall. Fish, Friday, October 6th, Saturday, October 7th, and Sunday, October 8th, Bridgestone Arena. On sale this Saturday, 10 a.m. at livenation.com.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the Spicy Chicken Biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Susan has always wanted to live in a chateau. I like a certain je ne sais quoi. While Jake is more into the Cape Cod style home.
It's a classic look.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Susan and Jake found a Cape Cod style home where they will only speak French.
Bonjour, je t'aime, merci beaucoup, and cordon bleu.
You'll get better with time. Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A spicy chicken biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the spicy chicken biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code ESPN17 for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's code ESPN17. Use code ESPN17 for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Want to see our smiling faces? You can watch us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
We are good to go.
Presented by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode.
It's part of this nutritious breakfast.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
I mean, I even took his side when I followed him on Instagram at the start of this offseason break, because when I followed him, I looked at his pictures, and every comment that would come up, like I'd click a picture and there would be a comment there about like, I'm so glad we drafted Anthony Richardson and not this guy. Or, you know, like, oh yeah, you're standing in the front and center of this picture with the rookie quarterbacks because you've always got to be front and center. And I was like, man, like this guy cannot catch a break. But one thing I'll say about Levis, and I said this is the same thing with the face touching, is, dude, you're the quarterback who walks in with a lot of scrutiny. And so I just kind of feel like, you know, get the football going, get the winning going, and then you can do whatever you want. You can eat pudding with your fingers if you want. Like, I don't care.
That was Jared Stillman on with us in the last segment. There are many reasons that you should be watching us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, if you're not already. We're streaming live. Brought to you by Superbook Sports. Joe Rexrode's face when he talked about same thing with the face touching is one of those reasons. Just go back and watch it. It was beautiful. I enjoyed every second of it, Joe.
Oh, hey. Football, another effort. That's pretty good. Did you see this?
No.
He's tweeted out the screenshots of me punching myself in the face. Nice job. So let's take this a step further with Jared. Then is he trying to say that Will Levis is going to use pudding for his face paint for the game? Like he's going to put chocolate pudding here, under his eyes? Is that what do we do? Eating pudding with his fingers, face touching. There's so many ways you can go with this.
That's beautiful.
This is so. I mean, this is getting into the the cap is fake territory. Except at least the cap is fake discussion starts intelligent from Jared. There's a lot of good insight and nuance until he takes it off the cliff. Right. This is just dumb. I'm sorry. Like, this is just dumb. First of all, we talked about this yesterday. Yeah, Will Levis is a first-round talent. Like, I absolutely think that teams who passed on him were a lot more concerned about, is he actually a great quarterback? Because it's really, really rare to find a great quarterback on the planet. and that's what you do in the first round, is you draft people you believe are great quarterbacks, that's higher on the list than personality. Of course, personality was a huge part of the discussion with him, but so much of it is just cotton candy, in my opinion. It's fans who hate him. It's, oh, look at this, good-looking rich kid who's cocky and I hate his guts. Whatever. Why does the Kentucky experience not matter? You know who I trust in situations like this? We go back to the story, but you know who I really trust is people. I trust other media people. So I talked to, actually, I think 4 people who cover Kentucky, 1 who covered Penn State. It's all overblown. It is. It's like the question, if he's a problem, if his personality is a problem, then it's going to be a problem in the locker room. You know who he is? Like, he's basically like this generation's Ryan Tannehill. Like, he's just Ryan Tannehill, except it's 10 or 12 years later, and he goes on freaking TikTok and stuff. I mean, seriously. It's like, and maybe Tannehill would, like, reject that out of hand, but he reminds me so much of him. It's just not really a story, unless someone goes on the radio and whines because, he taped himself working out.
Now, I will say, though, there are, and I think a lot of it's Tennessee fans that we hear from, but there's a lot of disdain for him that's
for
out
sure.
there that makes me wonder, like, where's that all come from when it comes to, is it the personality part of it? Is it just his circumstances heading into Kentucky? What do we think because I mean, a lot of people that don't like him at all. I think a lot of them are Tennessee fans.
I totally get that. And again, I think the teams, if teams didn't like him, then I think here's the problem is, again, when you do the Instagram conversation that Jared is doing, what I go to is, it's someone who's more concerned with crap like that than like football. You don't want that.
Right.
Gotta love ball, right? That's not what this is. That's not the issue. If you think he's cocky, you think he's brash, again, you think he's too, like, type A, right? This is what we've talked about. This is what Hasselbeck talked about. Wants it too much. Hey, I'm Will Levis. I want to be your quarterback. All right. But again, is this going to be a problem for him now that he's in the NFL moving forward, in the locker room with the guys? I put so much more stock in when he's been around other football players, they've liked him. Who cares if somebody hates him on social media and rips on him? What does that matter? I don't care if every Tennessee fan who's a Titans fan hates his guts. What does that matter? It doesn't matter.
I'm with you. I'm just saying a lot of people don't like him.
Yeah. And again, like, he'll be. I mean, he will be amazingly hated in this league if he's good.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
But again, why does that matter to the Titans?
Right. Like, does Vrabel care about that? No.
No. Do his teammates like him? Based on all the evidence we have so far, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
615-737-1025. We'll continue the discussion on Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans. Take your thoughts on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5-106.3, The Game.
College football.
Another Tennessee touchdown.
Is
Touchdown, Georgia.
coming.
Touchdown, Alabama.
Join us live from SEC Media Days in Nashville all next week for the news, interviews, and much more. On 102.5 and 106.3, The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hang on. It's going to be a wild ride. The PBR team's champions, the Nashville Stampede, are coming home in a run to defend their title. Stampede Days, August 18th through 20th at Bridgestone Arena. Heart-pounding action you don't want to miss. Tickets start at $20. Get yours today at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.com.
Yeah, we coming.
Join us for the ride.
It's Black Friday in July at Electronic Express. Get up to 50% off in every department. Don't miss a TCL 65-inch Roku TV for only $349 or an LG laundry pair for just $499 each. Save on computers, appliances, 4K TVs, and more. Get an Acer Aspire laptop for just $199 or a Ring Video doorbell for only $149. Get up to 5 years special financing throughout the entire store. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
The Parker Store at 1909 Nolensville Road in Nashville is the Parker Factory Authorized Store for your Parker hydraulic, pneumatic, water, and chemical hose needs. They stock metric tubing and hose connections to 42 millimeters in size, and they'll fabricate while you wait up to 6,000 PSI hydraulic hoses in a 2-inch size. Call the Parker Store at 615-248-8245 for all the Parker requirements you have. The Parker Store, 1909 Nolensville Road.
Yo, Biv, this one still needs to be vacuumed.
The service at Chuck's car detailing business is spotless. But new word-of-mouth recommendations leave him short of hands.
They don't have an appointment? Just get him in line behind the pickup truck. I'll stay for another couple hours and get it done tonight.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
When it comes to Chase McCabe,
the Nashville Predators, the Titans, the NBA, college football, talk a little racing.
You get a little bit of everything.
But hey, you know what? We're getting it done.
Join Chase McCabe weekday mornings at 9 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Gary Bettman. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty, where their advanced pay-by-TJ option can save you thousands when selling your home. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Nick Keys are here with you on this Friday morning. Taking your thoughts on the Titans and Will Levis on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Nate on the text line says, so, since Jared thinks personality is more important than having a great arm, I think I'd be a great NFL quarterback. This is from Nate on the text line.
Apparently that's it. That's the requirement.
Maddie.
I mean, Marcus Mariota is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yep. Maddie on the text line says, he actually reminds me of Burrow, token on the cigar after the championship. Yes, he's cocky, but if we win a national championship, the haters would be just called jealous. Personally, I like it. I want other fan bases to hate my quarterback. This is from Maddie on the text line.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest and I hear everything Maddie says, and I agree. I mean, the biggest reason that somebody is going to, like another fan base is going to hate Will Levis is because he's good. Like, if he's not good, people aren't going to care. They're just going to laugh at him. Like, if he's
and
a good
people
player,
are ready for that.
Yeah, for sure. But, I want other teams to hate my quarterback too, and the reason that happens is because the quarterback's really good. That's what it boils down to.
Right. Yeah, so Will, this is interesting from Will. If what bothers people is his circumstances going into college, I think you're right, because Adam is a UT fan, even said he grew up with Money Man. I don't like him. Is that Adam from Portland?
Correct.
He said that, yeah. Will said, well, do UT
I don't know
fans
if he said that, but that's what he's referring to.
I don't know. I don't remember that specifically, but I've heard a lot of things like that. Like basically like, yeah, Richie Rich, New England coming from the Ivy League family, all that stuff. Again, he's Mr. All-American, good-looking guy. Then he does the banana peel videos. It becomes this stupid thing that doesn't mean much. But at Will's point, how about Peyton? He grew up pretty privileged too. Yeah, it's not just that. It is personality for sure. But and I mentioned the Kentucky media people. Not because there's been a lot. We all know about the circumstances. He goes there, everybody votes him captain, all that stuff. But I was told stuff about after so someone was telling me how the Ole Miss game, he had a terrible turnover, right? I think he fumbled. He got hurt and whatever too. And so, the way his teammates reacted to him after that was like, hey man, we got your back. Like it was, you could justify being mad at him at that point. I think as the year went on, the Tennessee game, he had no chance, right? I mean, he didn't play well, but it was just like, my gosh, the guy has 2 seconds to throw, and he's going against UT. I mean, it's not like they were the Georgia 85 Bears. But in that moment was an example of his teammates truly loved him. Someone can find me. I'm sure. I mean, in a football team, 100 players. I'm sure there's someone who didn't like him. But I'm waiting. Someone tell me, because that's what matters, right? And again, also, do you work? Do you love ball? Do you work? Do you do all the things you're supposed to do? There's not one shred of evidence to the contrary.
Well, in quarterback, you've got to be able to take command out there too. And that's one thing with him that I don't worry about. I mean, I think back to, and I know that every time I talk about Marcus, it's like a piling on Marcus session. But
here we go.
This wasn't just me talking about it. Think about what Eric Decker had to say and DeMarco Murray had to say about him not being vocal enough, and he needs to be more of a vocal leader, and that's what you got to do as a quarterback, all these things. I don't worry about that with Will Levis. I think he's going to be fine in that area. So, to some degree, I'm watching this quarterbacks documentary right now, and Charles referenced this yesterday with us. I'm only one episode in, and there's 3 instances of Patrick Mahomes just going nuts out there. And I'm not saying you have to be crazy and that Will Levis is going to be Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying that it's a little bit of a different thing you got to be when you're playing quarterback. And there's some of those things about Will Levis that I don't worry about at all. I think he's going to be really good in that area.
Robert in Nashville says Christian Laettner 2.0. That's pretty good. And there's a guy who, college pro, little different. Obviously, a disappointing pro.
Although Kentucky fans, I think, like Will Levis a little bit more than they like Christian Laettner.
That's true. Yeah, when you talk about the Kentucky fan bases, yeah. But just an absolute Laettner, just an absolutely punchable face.
Oh yeah,
but a great player. That was a great 30 for 30. What was that? I hate Christian Laettner.
Yeah,
that was called? Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, no, I think again Tannehill, I think he's a very good leader, and this is another disagreement I've had with Jared. I think Tannehill does all the things you want from your quarterback in that way, and that Marcus fell a little bit short. Although it's interesting because here and there Marcus he lost his mind at times out there too.
He did.
But when it comes down to it, Tom Brady's a great leader, right? He's one of those, and I think Peyton Manning too. Let's take both those guys. I think those guys push the limits of. They'd scream at their OC on the sideline. They'd scream at a coach. They'd
starting center.
Scream. Yeah. No, they scream. I mean, they would get after people. They had the equity built up to do it.
Right. That's the thing.
If they're not good, then they can both shut up. Who cares?
Exactly.
You have to earn the right to be like that. And so Levis, this year, he's just trying to see if he can be in the NFL, So I don't think he's gonna be vocal like that. But if he does get to the point where he's good, yes, I agree. He'll be a good leader.
Well, think about the storyline of it too, right? If Will Levis acts that way this year, the storyline is going to be, oh, this guy's unhinged out there. Peyton Manning does the same thing, and it's look at the fire that Peyton Manning has. I mean, it's all about the skins on the wall at that point.
We talk about our pre-show meetings with Izzo all the time.
We do.
But a serious Tom Izzo story, he at times in his career has taken a ton of criticism for screaming at players, right? For being, but it's at one day he's the year we won the national championship, it was oh, look at that toughness and that grit, and it was whatever year he was talking, they were losing or they were having a tougher year. And it's like now it's like, oh, how could he scream at the kids like that? I mean, it is so much like if you're a winner, then you can do certain things that people are like, oh yeah, see, that's good. And if you're not, then it turns bad. But I just, again, like with Levis, it's just none of these concerns, and this is all spinning out of one dumb segment on this station. Like none of these concerns are, to me, relate at all to like the football team. They are cotton candy social media haters, which is like so over disgust and just everything. Ugh.
Bradford on the text line says, I was always taught as a kid, if people are hating, then you're doing something right. When they stop talking, that's when you need to be worried. I'll admit, I don't care for the fact that he played for Kentucky because I'm a Vols fan, but if he can win, that will go out the window like a fart in the wind. This is from Bradford on the text line.
Nice. Yeah, I mean,
again, that's fan base stuff, right? Like it's all the like. What does Peter Skoronski think about Will Levis? What does Traylon Burks think about Will Levis? Like those. What does Mike Vrabel think about Will Levis? Those are what are going to end up mattering at the end of the day.
Yeah, and Vrabel may think, man, he throws too many picks and we can't fix that, or you can't miss that many throws. But like, I don't think Vrabel's. Again, evidence that we have now, who knows? Sometimes people get in the NFL and things change, so I have no idea. But based on the evidence we have now, I don't think Vrabel's ever going to make these 8 guys can't just be 8-5 guys about Levis or, just anything else that's related to that. Like, if anything, he seems like a guy who they may have to send home, That again, that's the book on him now.
Sent home because he's staying there too long, not because he's lost his mind and
that's
practice or anything.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Will, leave.
Yeah. You're stupid. Get your Instagram video out of here. Hey, Will, why are you videotaping this practice? We have a camera here, Will. Why are you on IG Live right now? Yeah, I mean, it's just stuff like that. You tell me how many, and I don't know because I try not to look at any of it, but tell me how many prominent athletes in whatever sport don't have some level of look at me in their life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so sure you could look at maybe Burrow is that what Burrow is? Burrow like a non-social media
He doesn't do
guy?
a whole lot of that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I appreciate that. I think that's great, but that's the exception.
Right.
Levis did the other day. That's the norm.
Well, again, we've talked about this same thing with Derrick Henry, and this is another example of Derrick Henry, skins on the wall. Will Levis just getting in the
this
league.
is amazing. Oh, I love it. So cool. Right. Versus Pete Rose jersey. Shut up.
Got a texter that says, y'all have already written Will Levis's obituary before he's even taken a snap in the NFL. Sad. Is that what we're doing?
What does the obituary say?
I missed that one.
Very morbid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what he looks like. We're talking about, I don't think we've talked a whole lot about him playing football so far in this conversation anyway.
I mean, it's what are we? We're less than a month from the first preseason game. We can actually, I mean, yeah, we're soon going to get into camp in a couple weeks. So
that's all it's going to be.
Yeah, but yeah. We need football.
We do.
In so many ways.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll take your thoughts on Will Levis. Got more of your thoughts to get to on that. We will do that. We've got the Rob Rant coming up next. You can check it out every morning at 7:45. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 8:30. Join Robby and Rexrode for The Choice is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The Choice is Yours. Wednesdays at 8:30 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Jared. Want to tell you about Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Hiller is keeping you chilling all summer with special deals to keep you relaxed and happy this summer. Tackle those necessary home system replacements this month to take advantage of these special deals. When you purchase a select new HVAC system, you'll get 2 Yeti Trailhead camping chairs, a Yeti Panga 28L waterproof backpack, a Yeti Tundra 75, and 2 Yeti tumblers for free. And get special freebies on Yeti products with every new whole home generator or tankless water heater purchase. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam, and Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
The Dell Technologies Black Friday in July event starts now with limited quantity deals on top business PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Plus, get special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
Your company's hiring. Who isn't? We would love to show you how to use 1025 The Game to attract and retain employees. We can also help you find the exact person you're looking for with a targeted digital campaign. You can trust our team to help you build your team. Email us at together@cromwellmedia.com.
You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 1025 and 1063 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Don't make me angry.
Sometimes you have to tell someone to pound sand.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
This is the Rob Rant. Now on Robby and Rexrode.
It is that time of the day, time for the Rob Rant here on Robby and Rexrode. You check it out every morning at 7:45. The Rob Rant, the Rex Rant, whatever we're going to call Nick Keezers. We ever going to determine that? I guess we're going to have to get him mad enough to rant about something at some point.
Yeah, that's a good question. Now that we know he's a member of the Tennessee Titans, maybe we can play off that in some way. By the way, is he going to like Will Levis? We haven't asked that question.
Nick,
Does Keezer like Will Levis?
What have been your impressions of Will Levis to this point?
You really want to know my honest thoughts on Will Levis?
Yeah.
I truly don't really care right now to this point. I don't think he's going to be awful by any stretch of the imagination. I've liked what he's done. I also think that he needs a fair chance to be judged. That's the way I look at it. And obviously, I mean, I completely agree with you, Joe, that this is blown out of proportion in terms of his social media. I mean, I think it could have just been film, going out doing whatever. It doesn't matter. He's just getting in shape to be a pro football player. Look, I think he deserves a good chance, and he did fall for a reason. That reason is yet to be seen. However, I think we'll see that in the first couple of preseason games, possibly. I like him. I mean, he does have accuracy problems. I thought he played pretty well at Kentucky. I didn't get to watch him too much in college, but I thought he was an interesting prospect. I mean, he was definitely one of the better quarterbacks. I don't necessarily think he was the best quarterback in the class by any means, but I do think that he was attractive to the Titans based on how tough he is. So that's where I am at with him, is I think he has a lot to prove as a rookie, and that's yet to be seen, and I think we just have to give it some time.
Let's keep track. So Nick Keezer, the other day, best thing in sports was that there were no sports. Earlier today, said that he's tired of DeAndre Hopkins and all that discussion, and then started the sentence there with I don't care about Will Levis. It's going all three.
Yeah, because I don't have enough time to even make a judgment.
I don't care.
Look, all that matters is that
we're
and Nick
learning
can coexist.
Well, they need to coexist, but we're learning. Nick Keezer, executive producer of this program, hard to impress. That's all right.
Yeah.
Hates Wimbledon. Not a whole lot
Likes
going.
Jared's takes.
Likes Jared's takes.
Not all of them.
Oh, good. That's good. Well, that's good. All right. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I want to get a little bit deeper into it with you now, Joe, because I keep looking at this, and it just bothers me. The in-season tournament in the NBA. And I'm trying to think of, like, what this would look like in other sports. Like, we talked about the soccer part of it yesterday. Like, I'm trying to imagine, like, the NHL just, like, having some random tournament in the middle of their season, or the NBA or the NFL, much different obviously with the 17-game season, but like if the NFL just said, "Pause, guys, we're gonna have like a weekend tournament here with our league," like
Pro Bowl, middle
of the year, baby, let's get after it. It really bothers me. I don't know why it bothers me so much, because we'll probably get through the end of this when the first time they do it, and I'll just be like, oh, okay. But like the cash prizes for the players, some of these, like if you lose, it's like $50,000, and some of these NBA players are making like $55 million a year. It's like, okay, great, $50,000. That sounds awesome. It sounds great to me, but like LeBron James isn't going to sniff at the cash prize for the NBA in-season tournament. I've not really seen a whole lot of players comment on this yet. I'd be really curious to know what they think about it, because the more I look at this thing, I think the NBA in-season tournament may be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in sports. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, so we've had some soccer talk today, by the way.
We have.
So that's the only sport I know that does things like this, and people seem to like it, but I don't get it. I mean, but I've kind of chalked that up to, just soccer just has some different things. Even what Jared was talking about with like reaching out to that. Yeah, it's a different culture. It's not a sport that, started here. And so I'm like, okay, I guess people like that. Like, do MLS fans, are they excited about these breaks for these? I don't know.
I don't know.
The only thing, but I agree with you. I will not watch the NBA at all during this thing. What are you doing?
It just makes no sense. Like, and that's the thing. They don't want to do that because of the revenue that comes along with it, and I understand it. But like, you either need your guys out there playing in every game, or shorten the season. Like, that's the problem. That's why people don't care as much about the NBA regular season, is because you can look around any given night, and whether it's LeBron or Steph Curry or Kevin Durant or whoever it is, somebody's being held out of the game because of load management, because they don't want to play in a back-to-back. And it didn't used to be that way. I mean, I guess there's science that says that can help prevent injuries down the stretch here. But that's the problem. Like, it's
then cut the games,
cut the season,
because it's the analytics people who really have driven that. In terms of it's injury prevent, but it's also postseason performance.
Right.
Your workload. What? Wait, did you just say that, or was that a drop? Yes. Thank you.
Threw his voice back there.
Yeah. You just totally threw me off there with that. But no, I just, fans get screwed over by that, and it's happened over and over again, and it's like, it's just absolutely not fair. And I hate to be like an old man with you yelling at clouds, but it's like, it's just not fair for fans to invest what you invest to go to a professional sports game, and then like imagine that in any other league. I mean, people get hurt and they miss games, but like, just voluntarily, now we're going to keep them out of this game or that game, then you can't. That's the problem. Having this thing is so do people view this as like a solution?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, just a quick summary on the in-season tournament for the NBA. It starts on November 3rd, and it goes to December the 7th. And all 30 teams are drawn into groups of 5 within their conference based on win-loss record. So it's technically going to be a part of the quote-unquote regular season. They've got knockout rounds after that. It's all 67 games that are a part of the tournament count as a part of the regular season. Each team will continue to play 82 regular season games, including those that are part of the group play and knockout rounds. It's over a month. It's like a Tuesday and a Friday they'll have those games. But at the end of it, it's like, even for the team who wins, it's like, so who cares? Like, you win the NBA in-season play-in tournament. Like, what does that what does that mean? You putting up a banner?
Like one thing,
in-season tournament champion?
Yeah.
The Indiana Pacers?
One thing I want to see with it, Robbie, is, and I had this discussion with some friends at Saunders Ferry Pizza in Hendersonville, which is a great place. No free ads, but I want to mention it because I love going there to talk about basketball with my buddies. And we talked about how the in-season tournament is something that I think will draw more fans, but I don't really see the merit to it a whole lot. And the reason I think it's okay, maybe that we're just experimenting with it to see, is just a matter of, okay, well, how many teams that are in maybe, let's say, the top 4 of this tournament, how many of those teams are actually playoff teams? Because if you see the success out of that tournament, is that going to incentivize teams to play even harder during the season after all these workload things? I know I teased Joe with the workload drop there, but seriously, like the whole workload, like it's been, I think that's taken a step back on the game. Players get hurt more often. They're not as tough. And I think personally, this could be a good thing in terms of maybe motivating the players to play a little harder, playing for something in the middle of the season. Although I didn't really see a whole big old prize other than winning a trophy, right? I didn't really see any other thing.
I don't think it's going to motivate them at all because they're not going to care. Like, I just – what is the incentive for LeBron James to care about winning an NBA in-season tournament? They still have the playoffs. He's still competing for a championship.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's
just a gimmick.
Yeah. Like, Scott in Hendersonville says the NHL takes breaks for the Olympics, which – first off, they have not taken a break from the Olympics recently.
They should, because they should be in the Olympics.
But secondly, like, it's totally different. It's you're competing for an Olympic gold medal.
Exactly.
This is competing for something that you already do in the playoffs. That this part of it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's players who get to then play for their country. I mean, you're comparing that to this crap.
Well, like if we were talking about the NBA season and going off to the Olympics and taking a break for that, then okay.
Right.
That's different.
They don't have to, but they would, and it would be great. Do that. Apparently, someone says the NBA is the same thing as Commissioner's Cup at the WNBA, so they do something like that. I don't – and again, in soccer, but in soccer I've always – it's like, well, you don't get soccer, so just it's a different thing. I don't understand it. Like, have your season, have your standings, have your postseason. That's how my brain works. And also, have your best players play in all the games where you charge full price for tickets and all the things and beers and hot dogs, or have fewer games.
Jake in Greenbrier, who keeps up with basketball pretty well. The only thing I like about the in-season tourney is that it means Adam Silver recognizes that the regular season sucks. Instead, they just need to cut it down to 60 games, no back-to-backs, less load management, etc. That's from Jake in Greenbrier.
And to your point, they're not, the cutting down. The owners are like, yeah, cut it down. What are you talking about? Look at the NFL. They somehow keep squeezing more games out, these seasons. They're not cutting. I can't cut it down. Well, I don't know, man. But it's absolutely ridiculous that fans have to endure this. And it's not good for the game.
And there's stories every year about, I traveled so-and-so to Memphis to see LeBron James play, and he decided not to suit up tonight. I mean, okay.
No, it's ridiculous. It's a joke. And and this is where fans just get completely disregarded.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll take your thoughts on that on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, host of Talking with TD. We'll get his thoughts on all things Tennessee Titans. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
All the big plays.
And we are done. Vandy 24-21.
All the big stories.
I'm sure Vandy will be a much better team if Clark Lee is the coach.
All in one place. We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
What a stop by UC Sarah.
Then he wouldn't end up on my team.
Driving his way to victory lane.
I think that's the right strategy.
The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
3 days of racing, 3 days of music, one huge weekend event. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is not just a race or a festival, it's an experience. Multiple music stations with Flo Rida, Vince Neil, Chris Jansen, Gavin DeGraw, and more. Fast cars going over 200 miles an hour. And a family fun zone with inflatables, Ferris wheels, kids games, and kid-friendly food trucks. Tickets and premium hospitality are on sale now. Go to MusicCityGP.com for tickets and get ready to experience Nashville's premier speed and sound event.
The Dell Technologies Black Friday in July event starts now with limited quantity deals on top business PCs with Windows 11 Pro. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Plus, get special financing with Dell Business Credit. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to business customers by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam. And Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
Now, your Game Center update.
This is Nick Keiser. The Nashville Predators introduced Ryan O'Reilly yesterday after the centerman signed back on July 1st. O'Reilly commented on the importance of being a mentor for some of the younger skaters.
Yeah, I think, with this process, especially up front too, there's so many good pieces and so much skill and for myself, I think it's do things the right way and kind of trying to guide them in the right direction. And if you do that, I think we can be very effective.
Meanwhile, over at Wimbledon, the final 2 rounds take place here in the next few days. The women's singles are set for Saturday, while the men's singles final is set for Sunday. And the Nashville Sounds are back in action tonight after the All-Star break in Louisville, taking on the Bats. First pitch is set for 6:15 p.m. You're listening to 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
For more, follow us on Twitter at 102.5 The Game or visit thegamenashville.com. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 102.5 and 106.3.
And the score!
You can run different offenses.
The doors on the board.
Off the field, on the field.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun!
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's showtime. ESPN's Turon Davenport. Talking Titans. Now. On Robby and Rexrode. On ESPN, 102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
It is that time of the week. Time to welcome in our friend Turon Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, host of Talking with TD, on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. TD, good morning. How we doing?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing great, man. Appreciate you taking time to be with us. TD, the betting odds have shifted pretty dramatically on the DeAndre Hopkins front this week, going from plus 500 the other day to minus 300 to him ending up with the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, we've spent a lot of time talking about DeAndre Hopkins. You read anything into that? Is that all coincidence? What did you make of those shifts earlier this week?
Yeah, I didn't really read anything into it. It's just some of those lines, they tend to shift. I mean, you look pre-draft, Will Levis was a favorite to go top 3,
yep.
And we know what happened there. I think it's just the result of Mike Reese's report. That's what I think it's connected to.
So at this point, apart from those odds, TD, how do you think this plays out? How do you think this plays out? Do you like the Titans? Do you favor the Titans at this point? I know you've reported, their confidence in this or in their offer. And then also, what about timing? Do you feel like this, that Hopkins kind of waits it out a little bit? Maybe, if I were him, I wouldn't want to do a whole training camp. Plus, you never know what might materialize out there. Like, how do you think it goes from here?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where he's going to wait it out, and I would imagine by the time camp starts, he'll have his selection made. Right now, I mean, outside of getting an iPad with the plays in it, what really does he have to gain by signing? So I wouldn't see anything coming, within the next week or week and a half or so. But then again, you never know how these things turn out. So I think the Titans are the favorite, though. And, I mean, you look at both teams, I think the Titans present a better opportunity for them, whereas in New England, you do have the familiarity with the playbook, so that's there too, but it's just a better situation, in my opinion, with the Titans.
So, TD, on the Treylon Burks front, we've talked to you a lot about him. We had Charles Robinson on with us last week, and he said, there are people inside the Titans organization that feel like he can be a superstar this year. What do you think are fair expectations for Treylon Burks, given the information that we have, the way that he showed up in the spring and looks like he's in terrific shape? What do you think are fair expectations for Treylon Burks this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of coaches and players who feel that he could be a tremendous player. So I think, when you look at numbers, and I would say probably 70 receptions, 800 to 900 yards, 7 to 8 touchdowns. I mean, that's probably a fair number to put on him. And really, it's just to be that guy that can make teams pay, when they stack the box against the rushing attack. I think that's really the main thing that they need him to be. And you saw him become that guy for a spurt in the Packers game last year, and then a little bit in the Bengals game as well to follow it. So he's shown that he has the potential to do it. It's just a matter of him becoming a consistent player, and that's the main thing. When you talk to Tim Kelly about him, he says the consistency, become a consistent playmaker, and that's when he will hit that next level.
What would you do if you were, deciding the Titans' offensive line shuffle without Nicholas Petit-Frere? What do you think they'll do, and how big of a problem is this?
Yeah, that's a pretty big problem because the offensive line was already a question mark coming into this season. So now you have Dillard at left tackle. I would keep Skoronski at left guard, Aaron Brewer at center, and then on the right side, that's where I would have the shift. I would bump Daniel Brunskill out to right tackle, and then Jordan Roos at right guard. That's the way I would go about it. But, I mean, there are some free agents that they could sign and bring in and give them more depth. They're going to need to do that because I know I was going through the roster projection. And I was able to get to 8 linemen, but after 8, it's like, do they want to keep this guy? Do they want to keep that guy? Usually teams, they keep 9 to 10.
TD, we were talking about this yesterday, the newcomers with the Titans, be that Arden Key, be that Sean Murphy-Bunting. I mean, take your pick. I mean, Skoronski is a draft pick. Who do you think will have the biggest impact for the Titans as a newcomer, and who do you think needs to have the biggest impact for the Titans as a newcomer?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'd probably say Arden Key will have the biggest impact as a newcomer. You could already feel him out there on the field, his presence. You hear him all the time, but then you see him working with some of the younger guys, specifically Caleb Murphy. You see him working with him after, plays or just, period during individual and those type of things. So I say Arden Key. Who would have to? I would probably say Arden Key again because, you really don't know what you're going to get from Howard Landry, So Harold Landry is a guy that obviously they relied upon for the pass rush, but, he's coming off a knee. And, we haven't even seen him on the field yet, so he's still going to have to work through all that. I don't think it's fair to have a high expectation of him, so Arden Key is going to have to step up, and I think he will.
All right, TD, let's talk about Will Levis's personality because that's come up again this week. One of my favorite things I love doing in Jared versus Joe, and then with TD's listening, and then he'll throw me some texts, and we have some fun conversations. But first of all, okay, let's clear this up. You were not the one who brought up the chips, right? Have we figured out who did that?
No.
But Caroline, I think, brought that up, but it wasn't. Yeah, but I definitely remember that story. Like, what, Will Levis grabbed the chips on the way out of the room, right? Okay. But, just what you've been able to gather, what you've been able to see when it comes to Will Levis, his personality, and how it relates to, this team and his job. Is there any concern in your mind on that front?
No, there's no concern. And I think it's funny, some of the things that are mentioned, but what's overlooked is when he was asked about the eating the banana peel and the mayonnaise in the coffee, what did he say? I just want to focus on football. I'm not dealing with that stuff. Yeah. We don't mention that, though. You know what I mean? So it's just, and that's a question he was asked, when he was, when we first got to speak to him, if you recall, after he got drafted. So I don't think there's issues with his personality or anything like that. I actually like some of the answers that he's given the questions I've asked him and others as well. I asked him straight up about the, not throwing lightning bolts all the time. And he smiled and he said that's something that he's working on and something that he has worked on as far as being able to throw it more touch and not always, putting too much on the football. So I think his personality is fine. Quarterbacks, they come in all different types of vibes and, auras, and I don't see anything wrong with what he brings to the table.
TD, Jeffrey Simmons last year for the majority of the year is hobbling around on one leg out there essentially and still shows up and he plays and he's as effective as he can be. With him healthy, signing the new deal, he'll be 26 coming up here in a couple of weeks. How intrigued are you to see at this point in his career, in the prime of his career, what a healthy full season of Jeffrey Simmons could look like?
Yeah, I'm very intrigued. And, he has the comfort of not having to have that contract, wondering about that extension over his head. That's done. And he should be healthy. And I think double-digit sacks is something that you could expect from him. He honestly was on his way to that last year, until that injury crept up. So, yeah, without a doubt, man, I'm excited about watching him because he's fun to watch, on the All-22 because of just the effort that he plays with and how he runs down running plays to the opposite side, how he runs down receivers, down the field and those type of things. He's fun to watch, and I'm looking forward to being able to, focus on him in that second and third view of the games that we get to do.
So 2 weeks from camp, let's say TD, a week into camp, who are we going to be talking about that maybe we don't talk about a lot?
I would say Tajay Spears, but we've talked about him a lot.
He wants you to say Reggie McMath so bad, TD. I can see it oozing out of him right now.
That could be one. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Christian Fulton. I think Fulton is just in talking to some people. He's in different shape, like some of the best shape that he's been in his life. And I think, that's going to be something fun to watch, when they break into the one-on-ones and seeing the receivers and DBs go against each other. I think Fulton's going to be the one. And he's got a contract that he's playing for. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say Christian Fulton.
TD, great stuff as always, man. Really appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, host of Talking with TD, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll take your thoughts on the Titans, your thoughts on what TD had to say there. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. The Game Summer Ticket Tour headed to Fat Bottom Brewery at 844th Avenue North in Nashville today from 2 to 6. Come eat, drink, hang, and leave with a pair of free Sounds, Preds, Big Machine Music City Grand Prix, or concert tickets. Also, you can get signed up for the grand prize, Titans tickets, Preds tickets in the 501 Club, and a 2-night stay at Opryland Hotel with access to sound waves. Black Tie Moving delivers the Game Summer Ticket Tour. For more details, visit thegamenashville.com/tour. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
94.9 The Fan is your home for Hit City.
Your Nashville Sounds return from the All-Star break tonight at Louisville. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sounds win. Pre-game at 6 o'clock.
On your home of Nashville Sounds baseball, 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Get a great deal on select Kubota equipment, the #1 rated tractor brand for durability, owner experience in the U.S. The versatile lineup is built to help you make the most of your land. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months, plus save up to $800 on qualifying implements. Now through September 30th, see Krebs Kubota or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer. Krebs Kubota, Middle Tennessee's preferred equipment dealer, convenient locations in Columbia, Franklin, and Murfreesboro. Visit us online at KrebsKubota.com. On July 22nd in Nashville, Tennessee, 4 men will compete in one boxing ring. Only one winner will be declared. Who will be the last man standing in the first ever Survivor Tag? KSI's Misfits Boxing is coming to Nashville. That's right, Misfits and DAZN are bringing Misfits 008 to the Nashville Municipal Auditorium, including some of the biggest names in the crossover and celebrity boxing space. The night will be packed full of action, including the first ever tag team boxing match in the U.S. Fighters on the night include gun expert Brandon Herrera, fan favorite B-Dave, political activist Alex Stein, chart-topping rapper Swarms, lightweight champion Dean the Great, former BKFC champion Alan Belcher versus Hasim Rahman Jr., and many, many more. Misfits 008 tickets are available now, starting at $20 from Ticketmaster.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HUNK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text HUNK to 42424. That's HUNK to 42424.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Anyone want to tell me what happened? Did you miss any of today's show?
It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry.
Subscribe to the Robby and Rexrode podcast on Apple, Spotify, and other podcast platforms, or by going to thegamenashville.com.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're locked into Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty.
I have the radio on. I'm listening to
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
To him ending up with the Tennessee Titans, obviously we've spent a lot of time talking about DeAndre Hopkins. You read anything into that? Is that all coincidence? What did you make of those shifts earlier this week?
Yeah, I didn't really read anything into it. It's just some of those lines, they tend to shift. I mean, you look pre-draft, Will Levis was a favorite to go top 3, and we know what happened there. I think it's just a result of Mike Reese's report. That's what I think it's connected to.
That was Teron Davenport on with us in the last segment. Welcome back in. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook. Live from our 102.5 The Game studio. Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. TD not buying much into the odds shifting for DeAndre Hopkins over the past few days.
When was the Mike Reese report?
I want to say that was that over the weekend? Let's see. I can tell you.
I think it was Saturday, maybe Friday.
Yeah, it was Saturday or Sunday. One of the two, yeah.
So you got that because I mentioned we've talked about the podcast Lombardi, right?
Yep.
So that was shortly following it up. So those two things. The Caroline William D. Mace misquoted me and said that I said it was all the podcast. But I do feel like – but it makes sense what TD said. If you have those two things and then the reaction to it. So, again, it's not just like here's someone says something on a media platform, boom. It's, okay, then it gets shared, it gets aggregated, it gets spread all over the place. Then money happens, right? I mean, this has to be at least somewhat tied to money, right? Money going in one direction. Although it's so dramatic that it feels like it's not just like tied to the automated algorithm that's, like it's like a human said.
I mean, look, Chase got on here the other day and said that he thought something might be imminent with odds shifting that much. And he's not the only one that thought that. Like when odds go from plus 500 to minus 300, it kind of feels like something is on the verge of happening at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you immediately go to, who got the information? Someone got the tip that is about to sign. But now that it hasn't happened, and I think they've gone back down, isn't it more?
It's down. It's like, I think it times like minus 175 or something right now.
Okay. So I think it's just people react to things. And you get a little momentum and you get a little money, and I think that's what it is, but I don't know.
Joe,
Vegas knows, Robby. Vegas knows.
Vegas
knows.
knows.
Everything they say.
We will continue the discussion on the Titans here in just a second, but I do want to get something that Pat Forty has just put out there. The NCAA Committee on Infractions will be ruling. Their ruling is coming down on Tennessee today.
Oh,
according to Pat Forty.
All right, Pat. Tennessee fans' favorite friend of the show, Pat Forty.
So I wonder what that's going to look like. I mean, we've talked about the NCAA and this process with Tennessee and what the punishment could look like. Could there be a postseason ban? I'd kind of be surprised, I guess, if there was. But with that and the Jeremy Pruitt stuff and what that's going to end up looking like with his contract and all these things surrounding the Tennessee program, Pat Forty saying that that is coming out today. So we'll keep our eyes on that.
It's going to be interesting.
It is. We talked about the NCAA yesterday.
This could be quite a Friday news dump meltdown if there's any sort of postseason impact. I can't imagine that. I can imagine it, but I can't buy that it's going to happen.
What do you think is the more likely outcome of all this? Just scholarship reductions?
Yeah, some of that, some maybe some coach restrictions on, just basically squeezing down on recruiting a little bit, which even that is like, okay, this all new staff that came. I mean, again, it's
didn't
all
do any of this,
right? You should punish the people who did the crimes, but that's not how it goes in these things. But also, the NCAA has pretty clearly stated that that's what's funny about it, like this, and then our discussion the other day. They're also out here saying, hey, by the way, our rules are still rules, so. It's like, okay, well, if you want people to care about that, you need to enforce things and deter people from breaking the rules. So they're in an interesting spot. But, like, this particular situation is a good example of where in the past you've had way too much damage done to people who had nothing to do with what was wrong, what was done wrong. I don't think that they're going to have any kind of postseason issue here.
I would be surprised if they do. Now, I will, like, something's coming. Like, they're going to get something through all those. Because, I mean, part of what is being talked about here is they're releasing the final results of their findings today. Well, if it was nothing and there wasn't going to be any punishment, then they probably just say that, and they wouldn't be having something coming up later today. So my guess is scholarship reductions are going to be a big part of it later today. And if it's anything, if it is postseason ban, you're going to see an absolute meltdown on Vol Twitter later today. So keep your eyes peeled on that.
I mean, yes, and not just on Vol Twitter. I mean, I like that would infuriate me. I mean, just looking at this, take away the name of the school, all the facts of this. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff that went on in the Jeremy Pruitt era, you know. But you know, the AD, the coach, the staff, I mean, they're all gone. So,
yep.
And what's funny too about scholarship reductions now is, you know, that Spire Sports can kind of like.
Yeah, you don't have to be on scholarship.
Yeah, I mean, you can
You're
fill in the gaps a little bit if need be.
Hi, this is 5-star walk-on over here.
I mean, that's my understanding to at least some extent of like with Tennessee baseball.
Yeah,
you know, like it's, and certainly, I mean, my LSU baseball. Man,
oh man,
like, why would you ever want to go to MLB?
Just stay at LSU. How much eligibility I got? All right, I'll be here.
Hunter Dickinson, he'll play college basketball forever, baby, if you let him.
And by the way, Chase Burns ends up going to Wake Forest. We didn't talk about that yesterday.
Yeah,
but Chase Burns. Speaking of the Vol baseball part of this, he ends up with the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest.
That's too bad. I mean, good for him.
He's going to end up somewhere wearing black and gold. I was hoping it would be somewhere else.
I know.
Maybe here.
That would have been a lot of fun. It would have been fun anywhere in the SEC. It would have been really fun at Vanderbilt. But Wake Forest, and you know, they just lost a pitcher high in the first round. But I think they have another one coming back with Burns. That's going to be one of the best weekend duos in the country next year.
Maybe a Wake Forest, Tennessee, Omaha matchup next year. That'd be something.
Maybe. Now that I'm assuming, like Chase Burns isn't going there to be a middle reliever.
I would assume not. Maybe he is. Closer?
He may be a closer
in the MLB.
Majors.
Yeah, he might be.
Yeah.
I saw, I can't remember who it was. I saw somebody on Twitter, on the Vol Twitter part of it, said that Henry To'oTo'o and Chase Burns like the same thing. Tennessee fans should view him the same way. Tennessee fans hate Henry To'oTo'o now for the way he left, went to Alabama, and now I guess Chase Burns getting the Henry T treatment moving forward. Interesting.
Henry T.
At least he didn't go to Vanderbilt.
Well, Henry T, you know, I still see occasionally the pictures and videos of him after the Bama loss. So Tennessee fans can only hope that they get a shot at Chase Burns next year.
Oh, man. So there's the Tennessee baseball part of this. Well, is Jeremy Pruitt, is he going to get like a show cause out of all this? What do we think ends up happening to him?
Yeah, I think so, and I think he should. Absolutely. I mean, look, this is whatever, you know, because there was some personal involvement.
Yep.
Certainly wife involvement, and then beyond that, just the lack of oversight. I mean, yeah, I think, and that's where in all these situations is where the bulk of the punishment should go. I mean, it seems very simple. I understand, like, institutionally, lack of institutional control. Okay, well, you go from the top, and so how do you not levy some punishment? And I get that, but I mean, let's be realistic here. You know, the stuff that Jeremy Pruitt was doing, at the very least, while anybody who wants to fool themselves into thinking that stuff like that doesn't go on a lot of places or hasn't gone on a lot of places, the sloppiness was just extraordinary.
But hey, the recruiting was good.
Recruiting was good. Indeed it was.
Thank you,
Offensively, the name of the game is scoring points.
We haven't had a nice Pruitt drop lately.
I miss him so much.
Yeah, we need, you know, he's going to get a show cause.
I mean, I don't really miss him, but you know what I mean.
So, no. But it'll be interesting to see what's next for him. He did the Giants thing, and then he was like doing like some
Zoom podcast
Zoom with Mike Griffith last year, and it'll be interesting to see what's next. Hoover?
Maybe so. NCAA committee on infractions ruling coming down today on Tennessee. Pat Forty put this out there a little bit earlier, so we'll see what happens on that front. We will get back into the Titans coming up next. Take more of your thoughts. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, including one particular area of the Titans that we've not talked a ton about that is very intriguing to me heading into this year. We'll get into that next as well. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
It's been an offseason of change for the Nashville Predators.
Still going to be a relatively young roster. Johansson's gone, Duchesne's gone.
The Nashville Predators are interested, potentially, in a Brett Pesce.
They did trade Ekholm, Granlund, Tanner Jeannot.
What's next for Smashville's team?
They want to get younger. They're going to have to move a piece.
We have you covered with every move on your home for Smashville. 102.5 and 106.3, The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
This is it. The legendary live band Fish returns to the road this fall. Fish, Friday, October 6th, Saturday, October 7th, and Sunday, October 8th, Bridgestone Arena. On sale this Saturday, 10 a.m. at livenation.com.
There's nobody on the planet who's as picky when it comes to diamonds as Genesis Diamonds owner Boaz Ramon.
I'm very, very selective on the diamond that I pick.
Indeed, Boaz will look at 2,000 diamonds on the world market and find maybe 2 or 3 that meet his criteria.
What most people don't know, and even jewelers, a diamond has much more than the 4 C's. He has maybe 20 C's.
Like the diamond's luster grade or brilliance level, its feathering, its inclusions, its table, its polish, its symmetry, even the diamond's own DNA or X-ray report, which most jewelers don't even know about.
I refuse to sell diamonds that don't go through our very, very strict criteria.
Which means a Genesis diamond is one she can be proud to wear, with the most sparkle and brilliance and real intrinsic value.
This is my goal, to go all over the world and find only the best hand-selected diamond.
Genesis Diamonds, setting the highest quality standards in the jewelry business. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Does this sound familiar? Did your agent provide excellent entertainment with their TikTok videos and constant social media posts about themselves while completely ignoring that you hired them to sell your home? Did they tell you how wonderful they were? How many followers they had? They probably never sold your home, but hey, they did get 15 likes on their selfies. Hashtag my clients love me. Don't let that happen to you. Google TJ Anderson Homes and see why the only likes we care about are our clients loving our service. Ask us about our prepay with TJ option and how it can save you thousands. TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Office number 615-432-2919.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I'm looking for fuel injector cleaner.
Right now, buy a bottle of Chevron Techron Complete Fuel System Cleaner and get one free. Only at AutoZone.
Will it also help with my mileage?
Get everything you need to restore your performance in MPGs.
Wait, is it good for trucks too?
Whatever vehicle you have, you can find the right products and parts at AutoZone. AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the Spicy Chicken Biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
One is a legendary NFL wide receiver.
I gotta be prepared. I have to be ready.
One is a legendary Nashville voice.
You don't have to rely on carrying the ball 250 to 300 times.
And the other has been a legendary trash talker on the playground since the 4th grade.
Nobody is a Pro Bowler on day 1 of rookie minicamp.
They are Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. Weekdays at 11 on 102.5 and 106.3, The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Jordan Rogers, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Brought to you by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty, helping home buyers and sellers in Middle Tennessee for 20 years. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Nick Keyser here with you on this Friday morning. I don't know what they're doing on Good Morning Football right now, but I guess Tennessee's all-time rosters on there, like the Balls.
Well, they're doing Notre Dame and Tennessee's all-time roster,
yeah.
And someone just picked Paul Hornung as the Notre Dame all-time running back. He did win the Heisman, by the way, robbing Johnny Majors for a nice 4-6 Notre Dame team or whatever.
There's that.
Yeah. Tennessee's wide receiver Stanley Morgan.
Really?
What about Willie Gault? How
about
about
my guy,
Carl
Robert
Pickens? How about Robert? Yeah, man, that's actually there's a lot of good
Yeah,
choices. A lot of good choices there.
Joey Kent. Keep going.
Yeah.
615-737-1025. Joe, there is a position group with the Titans that we don't spend a ton of time talking about here on the program, but I think it's going to be really interesting heading in this year. We spend a lot of time talking about a friend of ours and his disdain for Craig Aukerman, the special teams coach of the Tennessee Titans. But from whether it's kicker, whether it's punt returner, kick returner, a lot of interesting position battles and or decisions for the Titans coming up. We've had a lot of people this week ask us about kicker and what that's going to look like for the Titans, be that Caleb Shudak. I think that's probably who they're grooming to win this job, so we'll see. Could they get through camp at some point where neither one of these young kickers are working out the way that they hoped, and they have to go sign a veteran at some point? You hope not if you're the Titans. You hope one of these two can get it done. But from kicker to punt returner, a lot of interesting things on the special teams part of it this year, including which role is Racey McMath going to play?
Well, Johnny on Twitter asked today if Nick is a kicker since he includes himself among as a part of the Titans team. What about Keezer's kicker? Wait, maybe that could be your rant. Keezer's kicker. Keezer's kicker.
Kicker.
Well, the kicker is like the last
punchline.
word. Yeah, it's like that's like the Keezer's kicker. But
no.
Veto that one.
Nope.
Like we said, keys are hard to impress on this program.
That's a tough one.
Yep.
We're going to have to come up with something at some point. But, yeah, look, of all those things, first of all, the punting does need to get a little bit more Kern-like,
It does. He can maintain the distance that he has on it, but a little bit more touch inside, tight punts would be great.
A little bit more of a short game for Stonehouse, a little bit more of a short game. But it's all about this team is completely built. I don't want to say this is like Jeff Fisher football, but I mean it's a team that's kind of built like that. It's a team that's going to have to win 20-17 games, which means you got to make field goals. And it's not great to be built this way and then not know that you have a good kicker.
Right.
So that's a huge storyline. The return game, I do think that Kyle Phillips should get another chance. Let's see if he can just have a reboot and see what he can do. I'm intrigued. Kickoff returns aren't a lot. I'm intrigued by Spears, potentially.
I am too.
But it's about place kicker, and will one of those guys emerge as really like the next Stonehouse? Are they going to finally find that next long-term kicker?
Well, and look, I think they've been searching for that for a couple of years now, right? I mean, they went through the kicking fiasco where they brought in 7 kickers a few years ago or whatever it was, and then Randy Bullock was fine for a while, but we've talked about this. At some point, you need to be able to consistently hit 50-yard field goals, 52-yard field goals, especially with an offense like this. So to find that young guy, they did it last year at punter, right? Like Brett Kern was around forever. He was really good. And then last year was kind of the changing of the guard, and Stonehouse comes in. And, Stonehouse, well, to your point, he does have some things that he needs to work on, particularly with the short game. I don't think it's a stretch to say Stonehouse is probably going to be around here for a while based on, the NFL record that he set last year. So they found their punter. Can you do the same thing with a kicker? Because it would be great to enter into not only this season but moving forward here, and to not have to worry about that. Like if you're Rand Carthon and Vrabel playing kicker carousel, because we've seen them do that here and what that's looked like. Randy Bullock was stable, but he's still not quite what you're looking for at that spot. If you can find that this year and find your kicker of the future, that would be great. Whether that's Trey Wolf, whether it's Caleb Shudak, whatever that looks like, if one of those two can take it and run with it, that would be ideal if you're the Titans, because they're going to need them.
Yeah, and I don't remember off the top of my head if anybody has that number. I know Jimmy Wyatt's always good for the the kicking stats through OTAs and through minicamp and all that stuff. From when I was out there, they both look capable, but it's very much the lights are on, the full operation. People are actually trying to come across the other side and actually try to block the kick.
Yep.
And I think Shudak. I mean, that would be my guess is that Shudak is the guy. And I think they liked him a lot a year ago, but that's another reason that Titans preseason games this year are better than your average preseason game. So I guess you could look at it as a positive.
They're gonna like split time. We doing one kicker for one half, one kicker for the second half. We picking one per game. Is that going to be the final roster cut? Is which kicker makes the team?
I don't know. That's a good question. And I'm guessing at least early, Obviously, if one of them totally falls off and it's a clear, like it's not a race anymore, then you give all the reps to the better guy. But yeah, I think early on it'll be that. And I think it's those practice periods. I think in the spring they kind of like it was one day you, but I kind of like the just compete against each other in this period thing that they've done at times too.
It's been pretty amazing to me, like how many we've gotten so many questions this offseason about kicker. Like what's going on with kicker? I think Titans fans are just like they've seen what's gone on the past few years, and again, it's been different with Randy Bullock. At least he's been stable and available, but for a while there, it was the kicker carousel around here, man.
Who scores more points?
Nobody.
Like if you're a soccer fan who doesn't really follow American football, you'd probably assume like the kicker's like the quarterback,
like
right?
The MVP.
It's the person who scores the most points. Why is it not the most important thing?
Well,
it certainly is important.
Well, in all seriousness, the Titans got to a point last year with Bullock where if it was a 53, 54, 55-yard field goal, a lot of times they weren't even attempting it. Like they'd be going for it on fourth down, or on certain occasions, depending on the down or the distance on fourth down, they'd punt. But you can't have that with this offense and the limitations that I still think could be there with this group. You got to find somebody in the NFL that can give you a shot from 54, 55 yards. This offense is going to need it. And we talk about moving up from 17.5 points per game. Well, a good way to do that is to be able to find a kicker that can make some deep kicks for you.
Yeah, no, it was fine. I mean, Randy was fine, but yeah, if you had one of those top guys, and like you said, someone who can rip a 55-yarder for you, what does that mean? Shudak has not, like his deep numbers aren't great, so let's see, what has Wolf done? Wolf, he had two of 50 or more, just at Texas Tech, so not a ton, but
a lot of field goals in Big 12, just touchdowns up and down the field.
Yeah,
not a lot of defense.
That is true. So no, it's a hugely important thing to watch, and I do think punt return is interesting too. I don't know, some people would probably just say, nah, Phillips, you botch a couple things, but you're talking about a rookie, very beginning of his rookie year, and again, based on some of what you saw last preseason, he could.
Well, by the way, he popped a pretty good one in his first. We talked about the Giants game and how productive he was, catching the football. He had a great punt return in that game too. Right. Now he also screwed one up in that game, and therein lies the problem.
Yeah, but early rookie year stuff, I think it's worth another look.
Special teams are bad this year. Is that going to be it for Craig Aukerman at that point? Is Jared going to be okay?
Hey, look, there are some things that I do go on the special teams coach. So I'm not sitting here saying he's amazing. Yeah. Kickers missing field goals, if they just miss a field goal, that's on the kick. It's on the GM, right? Yeah. Right? That's on who acquired the kicker.
Unless your operation is just total trash every time. Yeah.
Yeah, and the screw up they had in the Bengals game, it was that's fair. That's fair criticism for sure.
Ron on the text line says, when it comes to Stonehouse, I agree with you, Robbie. He's got a strong leg, but his placement and accuracy needs to be better. He needs to work on keeping the ball inside the 10-yard line. I would be interested to see what that looks like from him this year. Got a lot of suggestions for a Nick Keyser rant name. Somebody's thrown out Keyser's complaint. What do you think of that one? He's not even listening.
I think it's got to be Nick something. It's got to be fast, Rob rant, Rex rant. I mean, Alden in Nashville says, "What's got Nick's knickers in a knot?" I mean, I like the tongue twister there, but like, all right, folks, and it's time for What's Got Nick's Knickers in a Knot here on WHMR. Oh,
Yes.
Actually, Nick's got to get to Titans practice now.
He's playing
Sorry.
slot receiver for the Titans this year.
You know you're never going to live that down, right?
Hey, and you're giving me stuff I can use in my open, so thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go.
That's good.
I've also
we
been
need to
working.
come up with an open.
I've also been working on a illustrious one for Joe Rexrode, so
Oh, good.
I want to debut that on Monday.
Well, we'll see. Look at there. Nice tease from Nick back there. Executive producer.
Plenty of examples of me losing my crap on the air. So
Actually, this
no
one
shortage of fodder.
This one is not you losing your mind, so I think you'll find it intriguing.
Ooh, wow, I am. I almost want to get right to Monday now.
615. Almost, he says. 615-737-1025. We'll have more on the Titans coming up next. Take your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5-106.3, The Game.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, live and local from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. When you want the national
Hey. I got this. I'll take it from here.
Okay, go ahead. Dying to hear this.
We have the best national voices that you'll find anywhere.
Who was more deserving of being thrown from their game?
I'm odd, so I get the odd picks.
They have a new coaching staff.
It's not a bad scenario for them.
We are 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
And 94.9 The Fan.
Hang on. It's going to be a wild ride. The PBR team's champions, the Nashville Stampede, are coming home in a run to defend their title.
Yeah, we coming.
Stampede Days, August 18th through 20th at Bridgestone Arena. Heart-pounding action you don't want to miss. Tickets start at $20. Get yours today at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.com.
Yeah, we coming.
Join us for the ride.
Do I need Medicare when I turn 65, or can I wait?
With more than 70 years of experience helping Tennesseans, Farm Bureau Health Plans can answer all your questions about Medicare.
Part A, B, C, D, it's all alphabet soup to me.
So if you're looking for an affordable way to cover the gaps left by Medicare or protection from the high cost of prescription drugs, you can plan on us to make it easy. Find out more at fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HUNK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text HUNK to 42424. That's HUNK to 42424.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the Spicy Chicken Biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Hey, it's Jared. If you're listening to us on I-24 towards Murfreesboro or I-65 towards Spring Hill, make sure you check out 106.3 for another great way to hear Nashville's best sports talk.
You're locked into Robby and Rexrode.
Every morning, first thing.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Got Napoleon Dynamite flashing through my head with this song on.
Yeah. How about Nick's shtick?
See, we're getting too complicated now.
Nick's nag. That's my favorite right now. That's my leader in the clubhouse.
I think that is the favorite currently.
Nick's nag.
Nick's nag.
But I will say that Sean, who would like to eat caviar off my big toe, has nasty Nick's Philippic. And a Philippic apparently means a bitter attack or verbal denunciation.
There you go.
Nasty
I
Nick's-
am German.
I hope I didn't just say like something that's actually like profanity. What's that?
I said my family's heritage is part German, so I don't know how German that actually sounds, but okay.
Sure.
Nick's nag. That's probably the way to go, right?
Probably so. I got some tickets to give away to see Erykah Badu at Bridgestone Arena on July 18th. Be caller number 3, 615-737-1025. Our phone number, 615-737-1025. You'll win a pair of tickets to see Erykah Badu at Bridgestone Arena coming up on July 18th. Taking your thoughts on the text line. Jared from Spring Hill on the text line says, we know Craig Ackerman ain't going to develop anybody. Vrabel can't cut ties with him unless he has to. This is from
Probably
Jared
not.
from Spring Hill?
We talking
Question
about
mark?
developing a kicker? Is that what we're talking about? How much does that happen? Like how many like all-time great kickers in the annals of NFL history would say, man, if not for my special teams coach developing
never made
me. And I'm sure there's coaching, right?
Yeah.
What's interesting is the Titans, of course, had the and I forget his name, but they had that like kicker coach guy for a while.
It's James Wilhoit.
Yeah.
Hendersonville High School legend.
I'm sorry.
Tennessee Volunteers legend. What are we doing here?
I'm sorry.
I mean, that guy.
Well, I forgot his name, man. You know how it goes with my brain. Yeah, but he's gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much he helped or didn't help or whatever. But yeah, the special teams coach to me, like, what's the first of all, you actually have a lot to do. Like that's actually a big job. And look, it's to me, it's the proof is in the pudding of your return, probably more punt return than anything, and your coverage units. I mean, to me, and obviously your operation has to be good. Guys need to know the rules. Again, fair criticism. But it's just the operation of everything, the actual execution of like a kicker making kicks. I don't think special teams coaches have a ton to do with that. But then again, we sit here and talk about Brian Daboll and Josh Allen and what an amazing job he did, and all of a sudden he leaves and Josh Allen doesn't look like the same guy.
Yeah.
So why don't we accord that same respect to the special teams coach?
I don't know. I mean, look, the Packers, they hired Rich Bisaccia as their special team coach. They got a whole lot better. I'll say that.
Okay.
They matter.
All right. Well, so maybe fire Ackerman. That's the
That's what we circle back around to. Craig, sorry. We'll see ya. Did you see Jim Wyatt put it out there that Vrabel's taking part in the American Century Championship? A little golf going on at South Lake Tahoe yesterday.
So that's why he went to Utah.
I guess.
So
He's in Utah for a family vacation, and then just went on over to Nevada after that, I guess.
Yeah.
Nevada, whatever.
Is he any good at golf?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem.
I see him crushing a drive,
I mean, I guess like some people, I saw some responses to it, and they were like, "Well, I guess he's not too worried about DeAndre Hopkins if he's out there on the golf course."
Well, you're supposed to be calling DeAndre Hopkins. I love that. What are you doing? Study some film.
I think Vrabel could pick up the phone on like hole 13, like DeAndre. It's my daily call for you, buddy. Just checking in, see how things are going.
Maybe he could set his phone up to film himself taking a golf swing and send it to DeAndre. Put it on IG Live.
He's got a photo out there. Looks like he's got a nice mojito in his hand or something.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
nice.
I mean, he's got he's taking a photo with somebody that's at the golf course in a Vrabel jersey with what looks like a mojito out there. So Vrabel's having a good time.
Well, wait a minute, mojito. That looks like a Bloody Mary.
Well,
it's
maybe it
red.
is Bloody Mary. Well, it is red. You're right. I didn't see the color. I just saw the leaf sticking out of it.
Yeah, the leaf. Oh yeah, that's totally a Bloody Mary. Hair of the dog, Vrabel. Hair of the dog. Love it. Get after it, baby.
I love seeing that, though, yesterday. Not too concerned about DeAndre if you're out there playing some golf, Mike.
Hey, have you heard of DeAndre Hopkins? I wonder how a nice Marlboro Light tastes with a Bloody Mary.
1 week we're going to stink, and this guy sucks, and then I suck.
I wonder if that's what he's like out there playing golf. I mean, look, you've described in detail like the Mike Vrabel practice experience with when they're on the field out there.
Yeah.
I would imagine the
Great.
golf experience would be somewhat similar with Vrabel.
Yeah.
Especially if you're just slapping them around all over the place.
It's probably hilarious.
I bet it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's hilarious. More of that when you are when you know and you're having these public appearances that you have to do. When you have to do pressers, more of that. He had some funny stuff this spring though.
He did.
He had a few moments. He had a few funny moments. I think he's coming along.
He's in a good mood, and I wonder, how quickly in training camp. I will say, and we've talked about this before, like the head coach having to speak every day during training camp at some point, like, geez, all right.
Oh.
What else do I have to talk about
No,
with you guys? What are we doing? Yeah, we practiced well today. It was hot. A lot of practicing going on out there today.
I would take, if I could, arrange it myself, I'd cut him to about 20% of what he talks and in exchange for open locker room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throughout camp.
Yeah.
I think everybody would sign up for that. Now I don't know that he would sign up for that. He would sign up for the 20% though.
He would.
He would sign up for that part of it.
Let's just keep you guys out of here as much as possible.
But you know what? Here, let's tie this to like what Jared brought up yesterday, because I actually did kind of have a take on that. We can get it next week. This Nashville SC rip, and I know that he has some personal thing with them too, and they go back and forth. But I will say, and it's not a complaint on my part, because I don't really we kind of cover the MLS at the Athletic kind of globally and stuff like that. So I haven't written about them in a long time, but they the NFL team in this town has way more just access than the MLS team in this town. Again, that's an MLS thing, but it's also what that is. I believe is it's a soccer thing, and it's sports yeah. But it again, and I've made this complaint with NFL versus NHL too.
Yeah.
The NFL should not be out accessed by the NFL if you're a sports league, ever.
I agree.
And yet they are.
And yet they continue. Yeah, you've got to if the NFL, anything they do just prints money and viewership and all these other things. If they've got more access than you do, probably need to reevaluate.
And there'd be some people would say, yeah, well, that has nothing to do with the NFL success. All I know is that it works for them, and they can do whatever they want, and they still insist on access. Unnamed texter, Joe Rexrode, hype man for Mike Vrabel and Marcus Mariota.
You gonna watch the quarterbacks documentary this weekend?
I think that's what I'm hoping to. I'm hoping to get the fam to watch it with me. How about you?
I'm gonna finish it. Heather.
Oh, you're well into it. Okay.
I'm only one episode into it, so I'm gonna get after it. But Heather actually enjoyed it. Which
nice.
She doesn't like sports, so that's good.
Yeah, no, I think this is. I've heard nothing but good things. I'm excited.
That's going to do it for us today. SEC Media Days next week. Joe Rexrode, get excited. We'll have you covered on all things SEC Media Days. Jason McCabe Show up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.